30 seconds.
30 seconds? So do I then. I'm going to fix this because I'm not going to keep that. Hold on a second. I think I told you about what happened. You know what happened with Joe.
We're live.
Okay, we're going to music and then we'll go.
30 seconds?
Rehearsing and nursing a part. We know every card by heart. Overture, curtain lights. This is it. We'll hit the heights. And oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show. This is it.
Oh, it is that time. It's 5:30-ish. Well, 5:32 for those of you in Chick-Shinny, Pennsylvania. And on with the show. This is it. This is it.
This is it.
This is it. This is what I'm saying. This is it. That's it, and that's that. 2 weeks. Gino, how was your Thanksgiving? Tracy, how was your Thanksgiving? Frank, how was your Thanksgiving?
Good. I ate and I put on weight as usual.
I gotta say, I was kicking around last Wednesday night, like looking for something to do. I almost flew in here, but I'm like, nope, it's not gonna happen because, Gene, you took off, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Damn it. Just slackers. That's all right. It was nice to hang around. Well, good. Hey, it's the holiday season.
It's the holiday
Whoop-de-doo and dickory-dock. Yada, yada, and round the clock. Okay. That's enough
Now
of
I
that.
forget all the things I was just going to say.
No, you were talking about
Gene's fault.
Kasem.
Casey Kasem, but there was something else. My jaw, but there was something in the middle of those two things.
The dentist.
I know, I should have wrote it down. I didn't. Dentist, Casey Kasem, but there's something in the middle there. Something in the middle
What
there.
were we talking
Anyone?
about?
Anyone?
See?
Anyone?
Anyone?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Did you watch Rudolph last night, anybody?
I watched
I
a
watch
little
it
bit
all
of
the
it.
time. That's
little
like my
bit of
favorite
it.
show. You know this because you got me the cookies
Of
last
course.
year.
I know. I'm just saying. Sheesh.
He got me Rudolph cookies for Christmas last year. They were so cute. I know you got them when you went to PA.
Right. Where did I find those? I got to find some.
I know they were good though, but I liked that.
Sitting there watching it last night by myself, doing all the voices. You know, why weren't you at elf practice?
Speaking of dentists.
Yes,
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, what say we be independent together?
Maybe that's what the other thing was, the dentist. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a dentist in my jaw. What they did to my jaw.
Damn it.
Dislocated my jaw.
Well,
Yeah, they did. Well, then they sent me I had a root canal, and then I felt my jaw click, and they kept it open, and I kept saying, like, something's wrong with my jaw, and they just kind of ignored me. They're like,
you're
whatever,
fine.
it's fine. And then when they finished, I couldn't close my mouth.
oh,
So they were like, okay. And then, like, as time went on, it started slowly closing, and I was like, okay. But then I went to eat a sandwich or eat something, whatever it was. I won't say what I was eating, but no, I'm just eating food. And then I went to open my mouth to put, and it didn't. I couldn't. Like, it was like this much, like little tiny
Couldn't
bit.
do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Wow.
And then they said, I called them. I said, I think you guys like dislocated my jaw. And they said, well, here's a number and a name. I'll go make an appointment.
That's
Totally
real
different
real
doctor.
nice.
wow.
Go to the doctor, and he showed me what was going on. So what happened was it dislocated, and what is happening is instead of slipping right back in the jaw, he had a hole, it looked like a skeleton, but of a jaw. So he was opening and closing it, and he said, "This is your jaw. This is what's going
This is
on."
your jaw on drugs.
And
That's right.
I know this is your jaw on drugs.
Don't do
and
drugs.
then the little thing was
Okay.
slipping into that. He says, yours isn't doing this anymore. It's no
Oh.
longer slipping into place. It's slipping out of place and then clicking
That's
back
not
in.
good.
So that's why it was so painful. So I had to wear I had a specifically designed jaw guard, custom made jaw guard I had to wear for 6 months just to get it to normal, but I still can't eat big things. I'm sorry. It's just not trying to
This
be
is a family show.
This
This
is
is a
not-
family show,
Just
people.
be over here.
I'm just saying
Sausage, anyone?
I cannot
Only if it's Italian.
Lisa
No,
kielbasa,
this is
you hungry?
true. Listen, I try to keep the show as clean as possible.
Oh, stop it.
But it's very difficult
You
at
got
this
something on
point.
your nose,
I know,
right?
very difficult. Because this is a true story. So if I'm meeting a sub, We'll say, sub.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go
I
with
have
that.
to squish the sub, like squish it down, so I can take a bite. I can't just take a bite.
Right.
And-
Did you do that
and,
again?
and hamburger, I don't eat
Never
hamburger,
take a
so that
bite.
wouldn't be. But anything where it's large, I can't engage. And then, how do I say this without being like?
Just
I
say
can-
it. Just say it.
I'm unable to perform. That act. That.
I think everybody knows what act you're talking
And,
about.
and what's upsetting for me is that was something I actually thought I was pretty good at. And now it's gone.
Toss that out the window.
So I no longer can do that. Now, luckily,
Good night, folks.
luckily,
And that's a wrap.
I have a boyfriend, but he's very understanding. However, I'm pretty sure I can never start dating other people because how do you do on a date? How do you explain that? Like, listen,
Oh,
I
I
just want
don't-
to give you
I
a
don't do that.
precursor, and it's not because I don't want to, but I just can't, and I'm not making it up.
So
And it sounds like an
how long is
excuse,
this
but
supposed
it's true.
Here's your waiver,
Wow.
sir. If you can
Yeah.
sign this, saying that the relationship will
Listen.
not be over at this
No,
point.
I know. I mean, that's a make or break deal. That might for a guy. I mean, guys
tell you
live for
what.
that shit. You know that,
We're
right?
a lovely bunch of coconuts, you and me, because you got that, and I got this since my little episode this summer. It's like, hello, anybody home? Yeah. Could a little something, for the effort, maybe. Fortunately, I got
boy.
an appointment here in a couple of weeks, but holy,
Yeah, I don't know. So that's
Seriously, how long are they saying this is gonna? Is it
No,
ever gonna-
forever.
Oh no!
So this is the thing. It's been.
Eek.
I'll tell you. It was a year in September since it happened. So it's been a year. September, October, November. It's almost a year
Oh,
and a
so
half.
this is recently.
Year and a half.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it's better. My mouth
Well, we
is
like
gradually getting bigger. However, if there is a motion.
Sure, we do.
Maybe you just need to find the right size boyfriend.
I need.
There you go.
That'll solve the problem, right?
A trip to
I
Japan
need a
is in
boyfriend
order.
this big.
A trip to Japan might
Yeah.
be in order.
That's how you say it.
Exactly.
Yes. Who's on the phone?
We're taking calls. Go ahead.
Who is on the phone? It's your buddy.
Al Waller!
Of course.
Woo! Al Waller! Al Waller! Oh my God! Al Waller's on the phone. I'm so happy right now.
Everybody holler for Al Waller.
How-
I'm at the gym. I'm gonna work out, and I figured I'd call you guys first and say hello.
Oh my God, Al, you're working out. What are you doing? I can't work out with you.
Well, listen, I have to do something to keep busy.
And are you doing your Zumba?
No, I'm not actually. It starts too late.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just go on. I'll go on the treadmill for like 40 minutes, something like that.
I'm so proud of you.
And then-
Can I say a little something about you? Do you mind? Can I talk a little bit about
No,
you?
not at all.
Like you're not in the room?
I don't mind. You know why I don't mind? Because I'm not watching.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to say is this for those who are, listening or going to listen. Al Waller is a gentleman who works with, worked with both of us, but I don't work there anymore. But works with John and did at one point work with me. Wonderful, wonderful man. Went through a little medical thing with his heart, and and this is actually very good advice for people. He had no issues with his heart. He was getting older, and he said, "I'm just going to go get a checkup, make sure my heart's okay." So he went to the doctor, did his little tests, and they were like, "Yeah, pretty much like all your valves are like clogged, and like you need surgery like today."
Pretty much.
Surprise!
Yeah, I'm trying to put it into a nutshell, but yeah, then they had to. They had to open up all, and you said the worst part wasn't actually the surgery; it was the after effect, right? Wasn't it?
The worst part wasn't the surgery. The worst part was the leg where they took the artery from.
Right.
Yes.
That was the worst part.
Yeah.
Because that became infected,
Oh.
and so I had to go to wound care, all that nonsense.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. The surgery itself, I was out for 17 hours. So who knows?
Yeah, it could have been horrific, but you wouldn't know.
Exactly.
I mean,
La La Land.
The worst thing, what the worst thing they do? They give you a book to read, before the surgery, like a couple of days before, and it describes the surgery in detail. And I said to them, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I've had 2 major surgeries, and that's the last thing you want to know before surgery.
Yeah.
No, because they told me that they cut me open, they break as soon as they said that they break the breastbone,
Oh.
and then they stop your heart, and it goes through a machine, you're basically dead. I'm thinking, Jesus, I hope the guy doesn't sneeze.
Oops.
It's terrible.
I slipped.
What kind of a thing is this? And to this guy, he does like 4 a day. Yeah, no big deal. Next, just like a bakery. Next.
Now serving 32. 32?
Exactly, that's exactly what it was.
He's making a coffee ring. Hello?
He said, you'll be the fourth one. You'll be going in about 11, 12 o'clock. And I said, fine, whatever.
Wow.
And if you ever watch the medical shows, they wheel you down the hall, and I'm laying there. I kept thinking, all these doctor shows where they wheel you down, but there was no one coming with me crying. It's like, see it.
You want to like people going, "You're gonna be okay, Al. I'm here for you. Don't worry."
Al, we're gonna go to Friendly's, grab a burger. You good?
They wanted to know if my insurance was paid up. That's all.
That's usually the best thing about it, right?
Well, we're gonna go to the diner, maybe have some food. We'll see you after. How about that?
And then when Al was
That's a good thing.
when Al was out, we were all talking to each other. Me and another coworker, Maggie. We were talking about what are we gonna get for Al? We're gonna get him some nice stuff. We're gonna get him some Met stuff. And
Get him some cigarettes.
Yeah, get him some stuff. And we said
Lots of bacon.
And as a joke, I think I don't remember who you said it to. You said, to get a blow-up doll, and we actually went and got you a blow-up doll.
Well, we knew it couldn't be the real thing.
Did you use it?
Huh?
Did you use it?
I'm not going to tell you that.
That's a yes.
Mind your business. Yeah, actually, me and Jen, we went to the sex shop. We went to the sex shop in Hamilton, and we shopped for it. And we
When you
both never been in there before. The little one right on 33.
I got a question. When you walked in, did everybody go, Norm?
No, we've never been there before. Like
Sure.
you said.
Wink, 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 wink.
But it was so funny because we were looking at all these like dildos and everything, and me and Jen were like, we were in there for like 2 hours. We were like, our lunch break was like,
You forgot why you went in there.
yeah, we didn't even remember. We're like,
That's plural. That's dildi, please.
Exactly. I would have forgotten why I was in there too.
Yeah, Al, my father had a
Guys,
procedure
listen,
years
it was a
ago
pleasure
too.
talking to you. I'm going to go work out.
oh, okay,
Go,
all right,
go, go.
thanks,
Go.
Al. We love you.
Take care.
See you tomorrow, Al.
Thanks for
Hey,
calling.
listen, we still have to make a time.
Yes, for lunch. You and I brunch. I want to do brunch because I love
Look,
brunch.
we could do brunch. We could do
Nothing's
brunch.
better than lunch for breakfast for lunch.
A little bit of everything.
It's beautiful.
Delicious.
We're gonna
We could do that. We could do that at the place. What's its name?
KC
Whatever.
Prime.
Yeah,
K-
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Quakerbridge.
Listen, I'll take you there. You're gonna enjoy it.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All right, honey. Love you.
See you
John,
tomorrow,
I'll
Al.
see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Yep. Yeah, my father had the same kind of deal. He had 5 done it would be 20 years ago actually. He
Wow.
had 5 done. They
5 open heart surgery.
5
No, 5 arteries.
Oh, 5. Oh.
Yeah, he
like-
was, he was 69. Yeah, he was 69. I get tired quick, blah, blah, blah. So the doctor said, you ought to go and get a catheterization, see what's doing. And they found at Middlesex, at Robert Wood Johnson, used to be called Middlesex General years ago, they found 4. Well, he wasn't having it done there. He had a whole thing to where he and Mother had researched about a cardiologist up at Morristown Hospital. And this guy is just supposed to be, and he is, the best. Dr. Rakuli, if anybody ever needs work
Dr.
done.
Rakuli.
Not Dr. Remulek. I am Dr. Remulek from Howard Stern.
Dr. Rakuli.
It's Dr. Rakuli from the Morristown Hospital. And they got in there, and they found number 5.
Oh. Wait, do we
Yeah.
have 5?
Oh,
Thought it was just
yeah.
4.
And so they
Quadruple bypass. Well, you ever have quintuple bypass?
that's what he had.
I never even heard of that.
Of course, if you need 5, you need
Quintuplet.
5.
Is it quintuplet?
It's quintuple bypass.
Quintuple.
And he said the same thing about his legs that.
The vein.
Yep. That,
Yeah,
that
oh
it
my
bugged him
God.
early on, and now 20 years. P.S. They're only usually good for 10. 20 years later, it's in perfect condition.
Awesome.
But he his get around between being now 89 and all of that. It's affected. You just gotta watch, is all. It's because of the the veins out of the legs. So I get it. Al's right on point with that. So good for him. Good for our friend Al Waller for keeping on the beam there with his health.
Since we're on surgery stories,
Yeah.
horror surgery stories,
Oh,
and
boy.
Lisa
I know
can.
you've had a few.
I was told this. I don't know because I was the one in the surgery, my last cancer surgery a year and a half ago, in the middle of my surgery at Sloan Kettering in Manhattan,
Don't tell me you woke up.
the power goes out.
Oh!
They evacuated the.
We sell generators.
There's a fire alarm. They evacuated the hospital in the middle of my surgery.
Maybe it was a zombie
Right?
apocalypse.
And Lisa can tell you more because she was there panicking, like.
The guy came screaming downstairs. Hurry out of the building!
While he was in surgery.
Yes.
Out of the building.
He
Uh oh.
ran out of the building.
Wow.
What were you doing?
I was on the table.
Table. He's
They kept my surgery going through the whole thing.
Oh, they had like little
Like
flashlights.
the generator, I'm
They
sure.
probably had
or
their cell
something.
phones, and
They
they were
like
like,
the trucks like on MASH.
I'm sure. Yeah,
they
exactly.
have a match where they all
Someone get another headlight in here.
Light that match again. Put the candles.
My battery's gonna die. Give me your cell
On a
phone.
Yankee
Get
candle.
down, get down to Broadway. Get a Klieg light, would you?
So yeah, thank God Lisa didn't tell me that till like a day or two later. You know.
Oh my God. Yes.
36 trucks out there. He was in the basement though.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, it was a fire?
Yeah.
Oh, you said it was a power failure. It was a fire?
No.
You nearly burned on the
Oh, I know. I was on the table. It could have been a nuclear war for all I know.
Oh, only in Jersey. Only in Jersey.
No, this was in Manhattan.
Oh, only in Manhattan.
Holy smokes.
Did you go to Cedar Sinai?
No,
that's in
Sloan
That's-
Kettering.
no, I think that's
Sloan
LA.
Kettering.
Down the street from Loma Linder. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Speaking of California,
messed up.
what about that Casey Kasem thing the other night on
Ooh.
48
Dude,
Hours?
You know, I totally I was like,
I-
first of all,
Oh.
so this is my issue with the whole Casey Kasem thing, and I'm going to make this short because I want all of us to contribute to this conversation. But you know, it's for those who don't know. So his kids, he has 2 daughters and a son from a previous marriage, are at war, and this war has been going on since he died. It's been a
Right.
few years.
Yep.
Beforehand.
Yeah, but this war has been going on for some time against Jean Kasem, his wife. They were married for
Like 31 years.
yeah, a very,
From
very
the
long
80s,
time. I
from
think
the
it's at
80s.
34 years. I think she said 34 and a half. After 34 and a half years, that's what she said. I remember her saying.
Right.
So, you know, this is my only issue with the whole thing. Because they portray her as like this crazy psycho, just wants his money.
Wicked stepmom.
Psychic,
Right.
crazy lady.
Yeah.
And they portray her pretty crazy with the throwing the meat, you know. But I kind of actually understood what she was saying, though. I kind of got it. That sounds crazy, but I do.
I wasn't getting that. I'm like,
I did
why?
because it's a biblical term when you're like he's like meat to the dogs, like throwing
Right,
meat to the
right.
dogs. That's what she was doing. But my thing is this, and this is my issue because
in,
when they
Gene,
were
you're playing a
talking
little
to the woman, the house where Gene Kasem took him
Right.
when he was dying,
Right.
she said he was happy, he was content, he was laughing, he was smiling, he was so happy to be in a bed and not in a hospital. That's the way he wanted to die.
Well, that assistant said the same thing.
Right.
Right.
Children come in, they get a court order to remove him from the house, put him back in the hospital, where he did eventually die. But, you know, my thing is this. If Jean Kasem was like a newer wife or a wife had only been around a few years, you know, I'd probably be like, this bitch, you know, I
Trying to take my money.
Yeah.
Right.
They were married for almost 35 years.
Right.
That she knew everything about him. He knew everything about her. If she wanted his money, she would have gotten it and divorced him long before that.
That's right.
Because she could have divorced him at any time and taken
Right.
his money.
That's right.
35 years. And so I'm kind of like on the cusp. I'm like, I don't know if she's really that crazy or she just was like, this is my husband. Because really the wife has the right, you know, over the children.
That's
That
right.
is, you know, legally.
That's right.
But the kids, I'm thinking the kids are the ones who are the greedy ones. Am I wrong to think that? I don't know.
I don't think you're wrong. I would lean towards the kids being the greedy ones rather than her.
That's
If
what
she's
I think.
if she's with the guy for 35 years,
35 years.
I'm going towards the kids are the problem.
And
Well, and here's
'Cause
what I'm.
They don't want to share that money.
You've got a couple of sets of characters who, for whatever reason, and after 3.5 decades, what's the point? You got 2 contingents of people, one contingent of 3 and another contingent of 1,
Right.
who clearly, for whatever reason, just don't like each other.
no, they didn't
Okay.
forever.
I would-
and from the go. So you know what? This is a big old dick waving contest, so to speak, of well, I'm going to do it. Well, no, I'm going to do it. And they both came off as a little mazzo. Okay?
They did, yeah.
Jean, I'm going to say I get it. She's the wife, and I don't disagree, but she's no saint.
No one's saying that at all.
She's a
I'm
saint.
not saying
No.
I'm not saying anybody did. But then that one daughter, the older one, or the one that's a little bit more attractive to me, the one that didn't wear the glasses.
I know which one you're talking about.
And then not that the glasses matter, but it just, to me, she's kind of pretty.
Yeah.
She came off as, I don't, again, mazzo, maybe not the right word for her, but just as very unnecessarily over-the-topedly vindictive.
Here-
And like you say, after all this time, can we just not focus on the one thing that matters, and that's the man right there, so to speak, who we're all batting this thing around about?
They're still trying to dig him up.
Oh, I'm sure.
I didn't see the show.
Yeah, you
but
have to watch
here's my question. Do the three kids you said there
Yeah,
was?
3, 2 girls.
Do
and a boy.
they fight with each other
No.
over
No.
this?
No.
So
And
all
And the,
three of
the
them.
boy,
Are,
the son wasn't in the show at all. He wasn't there at all.
They barely acknowledged him. They showed photos of him.
And
Right.
there's
but
a son,
I
but
can't remember that they interviewed him.
they did not interview
Okay,
him.
but the one daughter who's a doctor and the other daughter who's
It's a radio DJ.
Right. That's right.
And the son's a DJ too.
the
Yes,
son
it
is.
is.
I've heard the
Yeah, but
son
he wasn't
before.
in the show.
Yeah.
In their own right, you know what, folks? You've got your lives, you've got your families, you've got the thing. The man was aging. No, he wasn't super old. 82 anymore is not super old. It's old, but it's not super duper old. Okay.
Listen, he
Again,
looked old in the 80s.
Well,
Yeah, he was
Like
a little-
just
not his look.
He was like creepy.
his-
He was like the Armenian creepy thing. he
But
got
you
going
could see
on.
that like he was fragile.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
word I
he
want to
was a
use.
little man.
Fragile.
He was a little
He
man.
was
Once he
he
had
was
that
small and
affliction-
he was very fragile.
Once he got
Not that he was
affliction,
old
it was
face
very
wise.
Parkinson's, like, did they say?
Yes.
It wasn't Parkinson's, but it was
a type of Parkinson's. He also had
Parkinson's-like.
Right.
dementia. He had all
Well,
kinds of stuff.
Once
going on.
that got to him, and I'll speak from a little direct Parkinson's experience here from my mother, okay? If it's anything in the family, so to speak, even a distant cousin of Parkinson's, that will mess up your body like nobody's business.
Right.
Okay? From how you look, how you can get around, to how you speak. That was the first thing my mother had a problem with. She called like, oh, my voice. She sounded like Maggie, and she didn't have a raspy voice. She didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she didn't anything. And that's the first thing that went. That was one of the first things that went with Casey.
And that his voice
Could you
is everything.
imagine?
Right.
I mean, that's
exactly.
all.
That's
That's
what he was famous for.
I'm Casey Kasem. Now back to the countdown. No more.
Right.
Except for me.
I still listen to it, by the way, just so we're
I loved
clear.
it. That was my childhood.
Sirius
everything.
XM,
Sirius
7
XM 70s and 80s. I listen
Now,
I listen to
long
both of
distance
them.
dedication was
And the best
everything.
part is they have them on the 70s channel and 80s channel
channel, same
separately,
thing.
so you could go from one and then listen
love
to the
it.
next one.
I just
Now our
love it.
long distance dedication.
Oh.
This one's about a little dog and a family, a dog named Snuggles. Why is it we come out of a goddamn upbeat piece and we have a stupid crap death story? All right, take 2. I'm really upset about this. Is Don around? Can you get Don on the phone? What the hell? Every time we come out of a goddamn upbeat number, we have a piece on death. Goddamn Snuggles the dog.
First time I heard that, man, I about fell over.
I know. I heard it on Howard Stern. I think that's the first time I heard of it
forget
on
where
Howard
I heard
Stern.
it.
I heard it on Howard Stern.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Casey, you.
Yeah.
Oh, the
That's not
Oh, the
Casey
mouse.
doesn't
Oh, my
talk
God.
like that.
oh my God, he's swearing.
Casey's the nicest man in the world. He doesn't say those kind of words.
And I love that they talked about that he was the voice of Shaggy because people
Yes.
tend to forget that.
Yeah.
That was
And
like
Robin
iconic.
on the Batman cartoon.
And Robin on the Batman cartoons.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gee, Scoob.
Oh, I know, so great. But it was like kind of disturbing because I think the hardest thing to understand was when he was dying, Jean kept moving him
Well,
away.
yeah.
She would kept taking his body and taking him to other, not his body, he was still
taking him,
alive,
right.
but like taking him to, so she flew him to Montreal for a while, and I actually
Right.
remember that. Then she flew him, where he's actually buried is in Norway.
Yeah.
And that's the kids were like, he's never been to Norway. Why is
Right,
he in
why would he be
Norway?
buried there, right.
Because she wanted him to be as far away from them as possible,
Wow.
even in death. So he stayed with one of her friends in bed in a nice bedroom and was dying. But then they swooped in, took him away, the kids, brought him back to the hospital. He goes to the hospital. They say, well, he's not going to live. he's gonna die,
Right.
and then he passed away.
Right.
Then Gene gets the body, brings the body to Montreal, brings the body to Norway, and then buries the body. And they're trying to get the body. They're chasing after the body. Like, it was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Yeah,
he's buried in Norway, and now they're trying to unearth him and bring the body back to Los Angeles.
I'm gonna have to reserve judgment on
Yeah,
all
you
this
have to
until I
watch
see
it.
the show
You gotta
because
Yeah, you have to
that
watch it.
sounds like that is crazy.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
Like
It does
you've
sound
ne-
crazy.
Like,
Absolutely.
hey, we're gonna bury Frank in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Because you're cool.
Oh, is that where
Well,
Frank
no,
wanted to be?
the craziest-
Is that where Frank wanted to be buried? Well, no, he's never been there. He doesn't even like it there. But I'm gonna bury him there anyway.
Yeah, they made a makeshift. They had his funeral for him in Norway. It was just Gene Kasem, and they have a daughter together.
Liberty.
Liberty, yes. And they were in these black top hats
Yeah.
and these black like capes, and they were just walking with their flowers like down to the cemetery
cemetery
to the
lane,
yeah.
yeah.
It was odd, and I will
Weird,
say that was
weird.
odd. But when you see the whole story, you're kind of like, I think they're both a little crazy. They're both a little crazy.
That's the
I
bottom
see
line
that.
right there. That's the bottom line right there. Listen, okay, take away the fact that, like you just said a minute ago, Frank, that okay, this is for how many years our national radio treasured icon.
We all grew up with him.
You know,
like
now back to
a
the
member of our family.
Casey's Top 40
Welcome.
originates from Los Angeles every week.
Okay, and we heard that how many
Right.
Sundays? Okay?
Right.
Every damn Sunday. Okay, so but now take that out of it. Okay, that's somebody's dad. That's somebody's husband. That's somebody's grandpa. That's somebody's brother, sister, if they're still around. Okay, that's enough.
Why-
That's enough.
why-
What's the hassle? I mean, these three and this one, they don't get together. That's the bottom line, and you know what? That's what makes Gene come off as a little cuckoo, and that's what makes these knuckleheads come off as inappropriately vindictive.
Right. Sure. Here's my thing. And again, I didn't see the show, but why does he not have something in writing legally that says what he wanted done with him? I'm sure he had a will, right? He had a will, and
I would
stuff
imagine
went
so.
to certain people.
Here, I'm going to send you the link.
Uh-huh.
It's actually the full 48. It's 48 hours, not Dateline. My bad.
Okay.
The full one was posted 4 days ago, and you can watch it online. So I'm going to send you the link for it so you can watch
Very
it.
interesting.
Thank you. But
It's
you know what I mean? Like,
Well, absolutely.
I'm sure he had a will, right? And
I'm with you.
and everything was divvied up and all these things. Why did he not have something that said, "I want to be cremated or buried or here or there"?
The kids took him to a UPS store and made him sign a new will.
Oh, that's right.
Whoa.
that one?
Oh, that's right.
And it was on video. That was another thing.
Yeah.
And then-
Okay, I need to watch this
Yeah,
then
yeah.
because
I'm sending it to you right now. I'm sending it to
This
you
is
right now.
it's Frank, it's the whole scene.
obviously,
it's just-
this.
You want to talk about the?
I thought Italians had problems.
Well, please, nothing on the Armenians. This is the quintessence of absolute, sheer, utter, unadulterated, unnecessary ridiculousness.
Yeah,
Do I have your number? Frank?
I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, all my questions got blown up already. like,
Wait, do I have Frank's number? Do I have your phone number?
no,
We'll have to reconnoiter after.
I'll find it. Don't worry.
Just give it to me right
48
now.
hours.
Oh, not on the
I'm
air.
not- oh, it's on. Hey, everybody want my phone number? Give me a call. Don't call the show. Call me.
It's 12. Done. Moving on.
All right, I can do that. Just give it to me after the show. I'm gonna send it to you so you can click on it and watch
Holy
it. You definitely
frick.
have to watch it, and we'll have to reconvene.
For
and get your
sure.
opinion, but
So
definitely.
watch it. We'll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did it in the UPS store. I made him change his will. He was signing all frail, all sick. He's
Oh
like
my
this. And
God.
they're like, sign here, daddy. Sign here, daddy. And then Gene Kasem's like, look at the video. Because they had, monitored.
Right.
Look at it. You could tell, like, he doesn't know what he's doing. They're like, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He's just going. And she's there, sign here, daddy. Sign here, daddy. It was so. It's
That's
so
horrible.
cuckoo.
Yeah.
You have to
Horrible.
watch it. You have to watch it.
I'm gonna have
It's just
to.
cuckoo. It is. It makes me sad though because it is a childhood
icon.
memory.
He's an
It's
icon.
It's like my whole childhood revolved around his voice, and then that's what happened. That's the way he's treated. His
Horrible.
body's in Norway.
I mean,
Like,
this
what the
is
hell?
already now several years ago too.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
And they're still
Three,
banging
four.
away at this
Yeah.
bevy of bullshit. I mean,
That's
it's
just-
just unbelievable,
Yeah.
folks. The man is no longer with us. Let it go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, that's but they'll never. That war is deep.
No.
That war is deep.
Well, again, just a little. Come on in. You're playing a little deep on one side and extremely inappropriately vindictive on another.
Yeah.
Now, I don't
That's
know.
what it
Now,
is.
here's what we don't know.
Right.
What happened over 35 years?
A.
Right.
Okay. And two, what these kids, what their real or perceived situation was when their family broke apart, and then this
And Gene came in.
blondie
Right.
who's like 8 feet tall
Right.
comes into the world, who is so nothing like their mother.
Well, they were like they didn't even remember. I mean, they're babies because if you see, there's a picture, a family photo
there's
of them.
one. Yeah, the oldest.
and
the
their kids.
The one daughter's like 10. The brother's
Yeah, they're
like
like-
8, and
right.
the other one's like 6.
Yeah, they're like little kids.
So they're
right.
yeah,
maybe.
they're little kids, but they're
Right.
not like holding your arm, little infants.
Right,
So-
right.
but still, and I can
I mean,
remember.
but like any broken family, I mean, you deal
Oh,
with
of course.
the other woman, if that may be the case, or remarried or anything
Right.
like that.
I dated a girl in
but-
college whose father went and remarried, and oh my God, that was her name was Lisa too. It was Lisa Oil
There it
and
is.
Roberta Water. I mean, they did not mix
Yeah,
at
sometimes
all.
it works out fine, and sometimes it just doesn't. And
No.
it is what it is. I mean, to me, you have kids, make it work. That's my thing. You have kids, make it work for the sake of the children. That's all I have to say. Because I've seen it both sides. Because I have a lot of divorced friends, a lot of them.
Lisa's got these kinds of issues.
Yeah, yeah. Like personal or like friends?
Well, no, we're good, my ex and I, but Frank puts up with a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A lot.
And like you said, it's for
Well,
the
that's-
kids.
For the kids, I mean,
For the kid.
It's for the kids. That's it.
Right.
and then when they
Bottom
ask,
line.
we try to, he maintains composure and is kind of like, I'll give you my opinion.
Sure.
But never butts in and says anything to them.
You're a good man, Frankie.
No, it's horrible. I know.
Yeah,
but
no, I've seen it. Oh, I had a friend. Oh, should I? Whatever. It's not like I'm like a national. I can talk about it. Whatever.
the Inquirer wants to know.
My friend, no names. My friend, she fell in love with her best friend's husband, and I mean her best friend, like they grew up
Oh,
together.
I remember that story.
And you know that story.
Yeah.
And her friend had 2 kids with him, and she was at his house or their house all the time for Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. And so she started having an affair with him, and she got pregnant, and she had the child, and now he's still with his wife. Had the child and would bring the child to the house and say it was somebody else's baby.
Wow.
And his son looks just like him.
Just
by the
like
way.
him,
Oh,
right?
yeah. And ultimately, I mean, there's a happy ending to this. Ultimately, they were in love with each other. He left his wife, and now they're married, and they have 2 kids together now. And I mean,
Wow.
they're very happy, and they're like in love, and it's very nice. However, what happened was so tumultuous. I mean, his
Right, of
ex-wife
course.
was like crazy. I mean, like crazy, burn down the house.
Someone's
crazy.
getting stabbed.
Like, someone's
Yeah.
getting. I said to her when it
I'm
all
gonna
was
cut a
going
bitch.
down, I was saying to her, I said, I do watch a lot of ID Channel and Dateline, as you know, and I said, she's probably going to kill you. Like, because I would kill you. So I'm like, she's going to kill you. So I'd be looking behind me, like,
Right,
because she's going to stab you. Because not
Sleep
only
with one
did you
eye
have an
open.
affair with her husband, but you're her best friend from school, like for
Right.
years. Your best, and you're holding the baby. Look at my baby. Oh, who's the father? Oh, this guy Joe. No, it's really your husband's baby, and you're
Yeah,
holding.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's crazy. And
Don't get any better than that.
exactly. But it was 10 years ago, and now they're married, and they have 2 kids, and now she's off, and she's getting married, and it's all gone. But it was extremely tumultuous and cuckoo, and so and it didn't matter. I remember that the ex was telling his kids, he's evil, this is what he did, and he should pay the price. And so his kids didn't talk to him for, I don't know, 5-6 years.
Wow.
So he lost those years because, and even though it was really, really, really bad, ultimately you have 2 kids involved.
That's right.
Or 3, actually. But you have 2 of your kids involved. Even though you hate him for what he did, you may hate your best friend. Why did the kids have to go through that?
They shouldn't have to suffer.
Why did the kids have to go through that?
I agree.
Or sometimes, and I'll speak from this little piece of experience. When Jamie and I split up several years ago, her daughter, through a previous marriage, I'm going to say, was in her early to mid 20s at the time. Okay, now I had been around since she was 6, so I helped to raise,
Raise her,
and I
right.
was happy to. I mean, we got on pretty well. I mean, she could be a handful, but what kid can't, And Jamie and I, we split up. We got a divorce. As a matter of course, we did not part the bestest of friends.
Billy Joel, is that you?
Thank you very much. But the thing of it is, it wasn't me pointing the evil finger at her and her pointing the evil finger, or her pointing the evil finger at me. It was, you know what? Stop. This whole scenario right now, it's not working. Okay? This is our option. Over here or over there. Well, we took over there. Okay? And we were okay with it. And between our son and, I'm going to say, our daughter, okay, we had discussions about all of this, and for a while, I'd be still coming around and doing all this and doing all that, and about a year into this, there was discussion of do we or don't we maybe give this a try again, and I was not in a place where I thought that was going to work, and that didn't go over well with either of them. It went over pretty poorly with my son. It went over extremely badly with my daughter. And I'm going to say for about, 3-4 years or so, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Out of left field, I'm going to say in about the summer of 2013, I got a text message basically saying, don't call me, I'll call you.
Right.
And that was the end of that until basically about a year ago.
Right.
Wow.
Okay. And now we're getting ourselves back together piece by piece by piece, however it works out most appropriately. Okay. This thing didn't unravel in 5 seconds, so we're not reeling it in 5 seconds, because that's like eating an elephant. You can't choke it down in one gulp. It'll kill you. You
Yeah.
can eat the elephant, but
Right.
you got to go bite by bite by bite.
I can eat an elephant prior to the jaw.
I was just gonna
could eat
say.
an elephant in one.
Let's not bite more than you can chew there.
God bless you on the fine work you did.
Can't anymore. I can't anymore, unfortunately.
Damn
Yeah,
it. That's just so on behalf of all maledom, I am crestfallen.
You open the door, I walk
For
through.
everybody,
Nothing.
for
Thank you.
everybody who's watching right now, if you missed the first 5 minutes of the show, go back and watch
Find
it.
it and have a look. But the thing of it is, okay, now fast forward. It's now November 2018. It's 5 years later. Okay, we just had a Thanksgiving weekend where she and her family, the four of them, mom, dad, kids. Now I have grandchildren, 6 and 2.5 years old.
There's two? I thought there was only one.
Oh, there's two.
I didn't know a second one.
There
came.
are two.
Oh, I didn't know about the second one.
Yep. K is 6 and P is 2.5.
Hey, Grandpa.
And I went out there Friday, and then Saturday they all came over. We had other friends, and it was a whole big dealy. Everybody's laughing and smiling, and nothing was forced. And then Sunday we all went out we do this every Thanksgiving Sunday. We all went out to a place not too far away that my mother-in-law likes to go to, for a brunch. Nice. And they came, and it was just a heck of a time. So you can, if you just stop a second. Okay, whether or not Jamie and I got back together, but especially if it's fixable, stop a second, just breathe a little bit.
Right.
You know what? And
you can't hold on to the past.
Well,
That's
it's
Look at-
resentment.
especially with
You
stuff
gotta
like
look
that.
at the greater good of every situation.
And there you have it. I say greater good, Frank, all the time about all kinds of things.
Yeah.
With football that
Right.
we do, with work that we did, okay, with life, love, and whatever that comes with it, family and so forth, that everybody does. You know what? Sometimes you just have to take a breath, step back, look at it from a distance, and consider the greater good. And some people are not inclined to do that until, guess what? They're inclined to do that, okay? That's part of the reason why folks like us are getting back together, because you know what? It just makes sense.
I think marriage is weird.
It's
Here
I
we
think it's weird.
It's
Can I? No,
no, it's weird. It's great. It's difficult.
No.
It's easy. It's all of it.
No, why
It's-
does it exist? Now,
I don't know.
I just want to talk about. Can I talk about this for a second? Like, I've never
Can
been
we
married.
talk? What are you, Joan Rivers?
Can we talk?
I'm afraid to go down this road.
She's right over there.
I've never been married.
No, not because of me and Lisa. Just because of in general. I don't know where this thing's going.
Oh wait, it's gonna go on a really great
After the way she started off the show, we're all in trouble right now.
Relatedly, as Adam said to Eve in the Garden of Eden, stand back. I don't know how big this thing's going to get. Go ahead.
You know what's so weird? Like, I've never been married. I've been engaged twice. Didn't follow through. I had very long-term relationships, all kinds of things.
Right, it's not right.
And you know what's weird about marriage? Because, as time has progressed and things have gone, marriage has been around forever. I don't know when the first marriage took place. I don't know the date, but it's been, a very long time. And I just don't understand why so many things have changed and progressed over the centuries. But marriage is pretty much the same. Like, you're still expected, to be, a man and a woman. And so now that's changed a little bit. I know you can be man, and woman, but that's very recently. So, that's a whole other conversation. But why is it, I don't get that in 2018, about to be 2019, we still say, like, I want to get married. I want to have a piece of paper. I want it to be legal. If you get married, you get to have lots of tax breaks and you get to share a house. Oh, but if you get divorced, oh no. Well, now who's going to get what? Alimony. Well, child support. Like, why does this even exist? It's so weird. Like, marriage is weird. Like, why can't you just be a whole bunch of people just hanging out?
It's the entitlement mentality.
You can't have sex with anybody else but me till the day you die. Okay, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to do that. Really, honestly, that's why anybody who gets married in their 20s is out of their
what I was afraid
mind.
I'll just be
They're
over here.
crazy.
Yeah, you better.
Right now, no, seriously. Right now, this is the perfect time for me to get married. You know why?
Go ahead.
Because I've lived half my life. I've done everything I've needed to done. I've dated everybody I've needed to dated. I've screwed everybody I've needed to screwed. I've done it all. I've done it all.
Not a problem.
But
Travel.
But the biggest problem you got can't be fixed.
Yeah. That I can't fix. Well, that's kind of a part of it, but we won't talk about it. So, but my point being is that at this point in my life, I've done everything that needs to be done. Now I know that I can actually be with someone and be faithful for the rest of my life because I've already done everything that needs to be done. Like, it's out of my system. I don't want to screw. Honestly, I have no desire to screw a whole bunch of people or go out and get laid. I don't have that desire. It's gone. You tell me a 21-year-old kid.
No.
21-year-old kid who's like, I'm in love. I'm gonna get married. Let's be together forever. Let's make babies. You see that guy in Colorado who just killed his 3 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Or his 2 kids
And his
pregnant
wife.
That
Yep.
crazy mother effer because he was having an affair. He was having an affair and he said, I gotta kill everybody. Now he's psychotic. No doubt in my mind. But you see these videos on Facebook and he's like, I love you, daddy, love you, honey. Ooh, the baby, I can't wait. And you look at it and it's so effed up because you're like, it's almost like they had this American dream, the kids and the marriage, and he kills them all. And you're like, because he wanted to have an affair? Why is this? Why? If priests want to have sex, let them have sex. Why can't you? I just don't get the restrictions of life of people.
Agreed.
Why are we so restricted? I don't get it.
I agree.
I don't get it.
It's a combination to me, and I may be way off my nut here, but I just mentioned, I think part of it, and many increments or incarnations, better word, is this entitlement thing that now with this discussion, with this topic, this has been around a lot longer, I would have to think, than just the recent 20, 25, 30 years where I'm entitled, I exist, so therefore I'm entitled. No, you need to earn whatever it is you think you're entitled. I deserve 78.5 coming out of an associate's degree. Wrong answer, Hans. Okay. It's part of that. It's
Bruce?
Thank you. It's part of that, number one. Number two, I think indirectly, and just because of the histrionics of all this, whatever this is, whether it's the priesthood having to be celibate, whether it's, I want to get married and live the fantasy. Okay, we all saw Pretty Woman. I want the fantasy is what she said. You know what?
She was a hooker.
And there you have it. And there you have it. And here, wait, hold on. And here's the other thing. Don't think for 1 second that women are the only ones who want the fantasy. Sometimes the guy
men
does
do
too.
too. Oh yeah.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
you're exactly right. Okay, I got married the first time, 25 years old. I had no business walking down that aisle, because you want to know something, and this is horrible, and I've never even thought about this, but as I'm walking down there and I'm standing up and I'm looking on the other side with the bevy of bridesmaids, I'm thinking to myself, how you doing? Okay? And meanwhile, here she's coming up
in the house of the Lord.
Hello, okay? Because why? Because I'm a randy 25-year-old.
25.
Okay?
Here's what I'm gonna.
Expectations. You go to school, you go to college.
You're supposed to get married, you have
meet your girl, you meet
babies.
your guy,
Why?
and bada boom, bada bing, and there you have.
Who said that?
what?
The why. I have the why.
Why?
The why is
To control society.
marriage.
Evil.
If you go way back, the reason why marriage became marriage was to carry on a property,
Right.
or a family
lineage.
name
Lineage.
or lineage, right?
Yeah.
That's what it stemmed from.
Right. And how long ago was
Right.
that? Right?
Centuries.
Right.
Centuries.
And then it morphed
And goeth
into
now and propagate and
Right.
Yeah.
and then religion came, and religion said, "Hey, we need to control people. Let's invent religion."
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
but
that
you must
started.
get, if you get married in the church, you can't annul.
Right.
You know why?
But you can,
Because,
you can take the
can't
little
get
boy.
married in the Catholic
you can
church.
take the little boy in the back,
Yeah,
but you
like-
can't come in here if you're divorced.
Oh no, can't come in here. No, can't get married in this church. Oh no, divorce. Oh, that's horrible. What age am I living in?
Right.
I know.
That's still something.
Right. You might
Why
as well
is it
start
still
stoning
something
people.
now? Like,
I
why is
get
it
it.
still something now? I don't get it. Like, something that was a rule so many years ago. Here I am in 2018, and you're telling me because I'm not Catholic, I can't get married in a Catholic church, or because I wasn't blessed, or I wasn't christened, or
know.
who gives a crap? I should be, if I want to get married, I should get married wherever I want.
That's right.
But I can't because of these
And by
rules,
whoever you want.
archaic rules. It's like, what?
I'll give you an example of a marriage situation. My sister works for a brokerage, I guess. I don't know exactly what kind of company it is, but she does mortgages for veterans.
Okay.
Right? And she hey, I got a new job. I'm working on commission. If you want to refinance, let me know. I'm a veteran. And I said, me and Lisa at some point are going to get a house together. And I said, at that point, we'll do it. And she goes, well, you have to be married.
Oh.
So we would have to
Wait,
get married
to get a house,
to
even
get-
though you're
to
a
get the
vet.
fin-
to get
financing.
this certain financing.
Oh, a certain type
Because
of
I'm a
financing.
veteran and she's not, we would have to be married for her to be on the mortgage.
And when was that rule made up?
Right. What kind of rule is that? But yet we're domestic partners.
And you've been together how long?
7 years.
So you're legally
So neither of you are going anywhere, which is nice.
Right, but the point is that how can you have a restriction based on a piece of paper?
That's what I
Right.
meant by that. That's
It's-
what I
this-
meant
it's
by
so
that.
old.
You can give me and John are both veterans. You can give John the loan because he's a veteran and not married, or married and
Right.
but he can't have his girlfriend on it. I can't get it because my girlfriend and me aren't married.
That is the silly.
Or I can get it in my name and not her name.
So they're forcing you
Right.
to get married, even though you don't want
Right.
to. Who cares? Who says you have to be freaking married though? I just don't get
Here's
it.
the thing.
I don't.
Lisa will never get married again. I don't have nothing to
get it.
worry about. I'm all good.
It's almost like you get caught up in the idea of it. You grow up, and if you grow up in that kind of household where, they encourage you to get married, or you come from a place where your mom is like, I can't wait till you have babies,
Right.
get married. And,
Right.
oh, when you get married, honey, you're going to have a beautiful gown. It's going to be beautiful. And then you have that in your head. There's a reason why most of my friends are divorced.
Yeah.
And some are on their third or fourth
Well, because
marriage.
they're living somebody else's
They're living
situation.
This is what I'm saying.
Think about this.
Silly.
How many people? Let's go back to high school and the perfect couples that we all knew in high school.
Right.
How many people from high school that got married are still together today? I know a couple.
I do.
But I guarantee you, it's less than.
That's the minority.
Oh yeah.
Way less than a minority. I
I got
guarantee you,
one.
it's over 90%
Two
are
friends
not
of mine I
together.
graduated with in high school in
Wait,
'82
do we have a call?
who are together since '89.
What
married.
happened?
So after you can't make it because the parkway's backed up. There's all accidents.
Oh.
You guys got extra time if you want.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
All right.
All
If we
right.
go a little late, we go a little late. I mean, up to everybody.
Just-
There's nothing better than a little time. All right. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No, no,
listen
Gene, it's
on
fine.
you.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Where I'm coming from, okay, back to my whole situation. You know, I've been through it twice, and up until very recently, I really was of the opinion. You know what? I am just not cut out for it. I don't think I am. I didn't know why, but I'm like, I just don't know if I'm cut out for
But
this.
why do we have to be cut for it?
Well, but here's the yang to that yin, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, for no other reason than in surveying my situation, such as it is, with what goes on in my life and with whom it's going on. Okay, man, I'm a fortunate guy. You know, I'm a blessed fellow. I had the opportunity about a year and a half ago to literally grab my family back.
Right.
Okay? And it was scary as all get out on one hand, but like on the other hand. Okay.
Sure. I can
Really
see that. Uh-huh.
Okay. You know, it took a while for my daughter to come around, but I knew she would. I didn't know how, I didn't know where, and I didn't know details.
But that's a rarity. What's going on with you?
I
Right,
understand.
know that,
right.
right?
That's
But
the
you-
one-off.
Here's the thing.
That's the one-off.
I have been known to take the path less traveled on many different occasions,
Right.
okay? Not always, but here and there. With my son, you know, it was just he and his mother for half a decade, and they're real tight, and that's a good thing. And you know what? We're getting it back. We're getting that mojo, that dad-son juju back, okay?
Sure.
Piece by piece by piece. And he's the man. He's a good boy, not because he's mine, just because he is, okay? And then I still call her with my wife Jamie, even though we're technically not married. You know what? I got sitting back not very long ago and thinking to myself that I don't know that there's really anyone, and there's not, that I would rather be with. Period.
And you don't have to get married again
Right,
if you
but-
don't
but here-
want to.
Right, because
I
that's
understand
the
that.
question. The
Chapter
question
and verse.
is,
Now, here's-
what does a piece of paper do for that relationship?
I understand that, but here's,
Everything else is what it is.
It does what it does, okay? You know, whatever it may be, and I don't feel like getting into details, whether it be what the mortgage and what the health care and what the this and what.
But
the
that shouldn't matter. That's the problem.
right, because which is why I don't feel a need to get into it, because here's what I was using today. That's window dressing. That's ancillary.
Window dressing, yes.
That's ancillary windfall, so to speak. Okay.
Agreed.
The ties that bind to me, and I'm sounding not like I've ever sounded before in my life about stuff like this, but I'm also 54 years old. I'm not 24 like the first time around when I said, "Will you marry me?" Wrong thing.
You're so
to do.
cute, and you get a real good BJ. Let's get married.
She's
Don't speak for yourself.
I'm
Larry.
not speaking for
Okay,
myself.
just check.
But and even the second time, the first time around with Jay, I have no problem. I have no problem with it. And you know what? This just in,
Wait, no problem with.
being married again.
But why would you want to?
Why would you have to? Or why?
I'm not saying I have
Oh,
to.
no, I'm sorry, not the.
You might
that was
ruin
the
that whole
wrong
thing
word.
with
That was the
Jamie
wrong
married
word.
again.
No.
Have to was the wrong word. But what would make you decide that you should? What I'm saying is, what's important to you that you would need to be married that you
Right.
couldn't have without being married?
And your kids are like grown. It's not like they're like
No,
little
I
kids.
understand
mean, they're
that.
grown. They're gonna grow up and do their own.
Like-
I think I don't. It's not, and it's not just about what I would determine as a reason. It would be what if we.
Of
Of
course,
course.
it's got to be.
Of course it's gotta be
It's
the
got to be the two of you.
Damn it. No, that's not how it works.
No,
What I'm
but-
saying, you're saying.
No, but what I'm saying is, let's say you both discussed it. You're having a discussion. Should we or shouldn't we? What is the shoulds that make a difference that
Right.
would make you want to do it?
it's nothing big and monumental. It's just my.
He's skirting the issue.
No, I'm not.
I feel like you
No,
are.
I'm not.
And I'm not saying you don't have to use your relationship as the example.
It's my
But I'll
feeling.
use mine and me and
Jamie
Lisa are
listening?
not, and we have no future of getting married.
But
we
why
don't
in
even-
God's name? You got
we have
married.
no conversation about
It
it.
didn't work. It didn't work enough that you felt you should end it. I mean, I'm not talking like separation. You ended
Yeah, I
it
know.
and divorced it. Now, you worked it out many years later, and you're probably different people, which is part of it.
That's a big piece of it. That's
Maturity,
a huge piece of it.
different, all that
Huge
stuff.
piece.
But in my mind, now you have something beautiful. I think you go down that road again. I think you're going to end up right back where you started. So don't get married.
See, I don't
get
see
married.
it because of what you just said.
Don't do
I
it.
see it the other way because we're different. Yes, we're a lot the same because we are who we are. Period. Whether it's 1989, 1995 when we got married the first time, Jamie and I, or I'm sorry, I'm just seeing something come over here. Or right now, we're different people. We're different people, but we're also
Sure,
the same.
of course.
Okay. My whole thing is, and if it sounds Pollyannish, then so be it. Okay.
You're living the old school, baby.
Here's-
I'm talking
I-
2018.
I understand, but here again, if after some discussion and some.
So you're saying if she said to you, you know what, I really want to get married again, you'd be down for even like the discussion? You're open to the discussion of
I
getting
am.
married? Oh boy,
Listen, I'm open to the discussion with Lisa.
that's different.
If Lisa,
You didn't
but
break
here's
up
the
with
thing.
Lisa and divorce her and then get back with her. That's different.
No, but here's the thing, right? So, me and Lisa have never sat down really, and had a serious conversation about it. We just
Except
both,
right now.
but we've both mentioned it in passing that it wasn't important to us, right? But if Lisa said to me tonight on the drive home, Frank, you know what? Maybe we should really think about this.
Tracy's
I would
discussion.
entertain it and have the conversation, right?
Sorry.
Like I would have that conversation, and I would think,
You're open to it.
right.
Right.
But here's my, maybe it's just my male point of view. I think a lot of people that get married young are using it as a tool. If we get married, I don't cheat, he doesn't cheat. We don't do the things that we used to do anymore because now we have this piece of paper that says we don't do it.
Which is a little
Whereas
crap.
I say is, if I'm in a committed relationship and I commit to you, then a piece of paper is not gonna stop me from doing something, right?
Well, this
it's
is
me.
why young people
I'm
can
the
get
one
married.
that's gonna stop me from doing something, and I think that's a lot of women and same with men. A lot of men say, "Oh, well, once I get married, there's no more this and no more that," and women
Baloney.
say the same thing,
And I'm
and
gonna
it's
kill my
not
wife
true.
if I can.
But they think that piece of paper is gonna stop something from happening,
No,
and it's not.
No.
So it's you yourself will stop those issues from coming up if you're in a committed relationship. So the piece of paper means nothing.
Well, and also it's all about like, let's define what being in love and loving is. I mean,
That's
that's
right.
a whole other thing too, because at 22, everyone you've met up to that point isn't as good as that person you just met at 22. So
That's
you
right.
say,
Right.
wow,
100%.
this is the best person I've ever met in my long
right.
life.
That's right.
Right? I'm
That's
22.
exactly
You
right.
are the most amazing
Amazing.
person. I've never met anybody. Let's get married. Let's get married. Let's get married. Let's have kids. We have a beautiful life. Then I'm going to go work on Wall Street. And you're on Wall Street and you're like, look at this. Look at that. I'm traveling. I'm seeing these people. Look at all these women. Look at all these women. And then you meet this woman and she's like everything. And wait a second. You're not like my wife at all. I never knew a woman like you before. I'm in love with you. Oh my God. Wait a second. But because you went from 22 to say 35.
And
40,
everything changed in
and-
those 10 years.
Yeah, sure. And-
Inside of you.
Yes.
Well, and here's the thing: from our 20s to our 40s, there was a lot, details be damned. There's a lot of that general idea going on. Okay, in my 50s and our 50s, again, different. Okay,
Sure.
and if we're both about it, I'm in.
I just think marriage is weird.
Well, I'm
That's
not
all.
saying
It's
it's
just
not.
weird.
I mean,
It's a weird-
It is.
It's
I mean,
an
it can be.
archaic event. It's
Well,
an
and it's-
old archaic.
And clearly, It's not for everybody.
No, but
And
here's
that's
the weird
okay.
thing. I'm not saying marriage isn't for me. That's the weird thing.
Right.
I'm not saying I
Right.
wouldn't
Nobody's
get married.
saying that at
I
all.
get married, sure, why not? But my thing is that I praise God above that I didn't get married those times that I was engaged. Because those people
Right.
now, no freaking way. But I was smart. I had pressure from family, friends going, well, Tracy, you're 30. You're not, you have no babies. You have to get married.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm like, maybe I do. And I'm thinking, but I don't even like them.
Again, living.
right. You're
someone
living
else's
someone else's
agenda.
life. That's right.
You know, my agenda for you, since for whatever reason I didn't get the whole back to Pretty Woman, I didn't get the whole fantasy. So guess what? You need to go.
Yeah,
go,
you
go.
need to- yeah,
No.
right.
No. Okay, and I got to tell you, bucking the system twice. I come from a house where my parents were together for 60 years.
Right.
60.
But when did your
years.
parents get married?
More than 60 years ago.
Dad was 25 and mother was 20.
But
8,
the
29?
but the year that they were married.
1955.
Exactly. So my point being is that marriage
Different life.
now is in 2018 as opposed to 2050s, 2040s, 2030s, at 2030s. What am I saying? I'm at 1930s.
Right.
19, that's what I meant to say. But I'm saying like things are so different.
Times are different.
And it's just like almost like we're trying to hold on to like the knights of, like we're
Columbus.
holding on to
No.
something. We're holding on to something that's so archaic and vintage, and like let's hold on to that. We've gotten rid of pretty much everything else that's reflective of the past, but we got to hold on to that. Got to hold on to that one. I just find it strange. I don't know why. I just do.
Well,
And I'm going to go back to this one. I'm going to say it yet again. And this also is, generally speaking, another reason why Breyer's ice cream makes vanilla and chocolate, because
They also make
everyone's
Neapolitan.
got, and butter pecan and pistachio, and all
Strawberry.
those, because
Don't forget the strawberry.
everybody's got a
Again, Neapolitan, which has the 3 flavors
I don't
in
like
one
the chocolate.
flavor.
I don't like the chocolate. Just
Yeah,
the strawberry.
that's it.
everybody's
all.
got a different taste.
I like to have a little bit of
different
everything,
urine.
which
I
maybe
agree. I mean,
explains-
but here's the thing: if it's right for for these people, it may be far from right from the other people.
And the thing that sucks is that divorce is so hard. Like divorce is so
It's
hard.
difficult.
Like it is so hard. And I mean, what you have to go through
I'm not
legally,
doing that again. This just
mentally.
in. One
oh
way
my
or another,
God.
I am not doing that.
They make your
again.
life a misery. If you say, you know what, this marriage isn't working out. Okay, we're going to make it so difficult for you that you're going to. I know people who are separated and have been separated for years.
Because
Because
it's
you
too
got-
hard to get a divorce.
It's too hard to get a divorce.
Right. Exactly
What
right.
was that? That's baloney.
I agree.
It's baloney.
I agree.
Ugh.
I work with a guy. Like
And then here's
Boy.
the other side of this. The extreme other side is the teenage pregnancy TV shows. Are you kidding me?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that for a
Just getting
second.
pregnant. Really?
How
You're
do
gonna-
you
you're
have a
gonna
TV
make a
show
about this?
saying that it's okay for you to get pregnant at 15 and that's the way you want to live your life? Who doesn't slap somebody in the face and go, "Hey, wake up, knucklehead"?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
So you're going from one extreme of I have to get married so I can have a family to screw that. I just want to have a kid. Let me go sleep with somebody and then get rid of them so I can raise the kid
And
by
here's the
myself
best
at
part.
15 without a job under my parents' roof.
And here's the best part.
Hello?
It's on a national network that markets and targets the 15-year-olds.
Right. Like, how is this like...
Spectacular thing going
There
on
should be
here.
a law against that. Like, how is that even legal? You can't put porn on regular TV, but you can put that? These kids are under 18. Like, they can't
know.
make those kinds of decisions on their own.
And as the grease man
And I
said
guarantee
years
you-
ago about something like this, and these people continue to reproduce.
I
And
guarantee
I mean the
you.
ones who are putting
By
the
the
shows
time
on.
they're 25, they're all miserable, hating their lives.
Oh, yeah.
By the time they're 18, they're miserable, hating their lives.
20. Holy fright! You gotta
Oh.
be kidding me.
Like, what the hell did I
No
do?
way. I'm not a dope. Okay, well, mostly. I'm fairly intelligent. I have a decent IQ. But let me tell you what, at 17 years old, never mind 15, at 17, 18 years old, oh no, there was no way I was ready for any bit of that.
Listen,
None.
if I had a pregnancy scare from a girlfriend in my 20s, I would have been shitting my pants. Never mind at 15.
Oh, I know.
Are you kidding?
I know. And I know.
All right, let's change the subject.
Lock it out with this. Here's the bottom line, kids. Do what you like. I mean, okay.
And like what you do.
And like what you do. Okay? But smartly. Not with the 15 and pregnant. I'm talking about with this whole marriage business. And I don't mean kids. I mean people. I mean folks like you, like me, like you, like you, and like you. And there's Gino over there. You've been married since what? Christ was a corporal, right?
26 years.
There you go. 26 years, 1992. Okay? No,
Hope your wife doesn't
But you
beat
see
you up when
those
you get home.
photos of him and Mrs. Jean, and they're just like happy as could be. It ain't peaches and cream and rainbows and
You don't
lollipops
know. You don't
all
live
the
in that
time.
goddamn house. What the hell do you know,
But
John?
but you know what? I never hear him speak ill of it.
Because who's going to speak about it? To be, if
You don't
He's
do.
right.
Yeah. See,
He's always right, and I gotta fix things.
there you go. There's
That should be in your marriage
There it is.
contract.
there it is.
If I'm not home, nothing gets fixed.
That's right.
Done. I don't. she's a
Do you
whore.
have? I got a question.
And if she's not right, you
She's a
refer
hoarder.
back to the
She's a
number one.
hoarder.
I got my problems, but I'm not a hoarder, and I'm not a pushy husband.
See, now why are you opening this? You open this goddamn door, John.
I have
Love
a
you.
question, and this goes out to our viewers.
No, I'm here for therapy. If you need
For
it.
all you men like Gene out there that do all these things around the house, how many of you have capes?
What?
Superman.
Superman, he's got to wear his cape when he's doing all these things.
Oh God!
Right, Gene?
Stop it, Frank.
See?
Just stop.
Changes the course of mighty
Stop.
rivers. Bends steel with his bare hands.
Oh, Lord.
And
I'm
he
gonna-
disguised as a
Oh,
mild-mannered
big
radio
baby.
guy from Robbinsville, New Jersey.
Listen.
And I'm gonna put this out to all the parents out there. It's a public service announcement. If your under 18 child, male or female, wants to have babies at that age, as Bob Barker once said, please have them spayed and neutered.
Thank you.
We can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
Well, maybe we should.
Well, you need a license to drive, but not to have children.
Well, again, maybe we should.
I know. It's just, I don't even, you know what? This is what I want. I want someone who just can tolerate me and thinks I'm funny and can have good conversations with me and doesn't get, frustrated with my antics and psychotic behavior. And then that's perfect. That's it. That's
You're not
a perfect
asking for
man
much
me.
at all.
I don't care what you're doing.
Antics. We
Yeah.
got antics for sale.
You don't have-
Psychotic behavior.
I got
Psychotic
it.
behavior over here.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
have to
Absolutely
fix
nothing for
it.
sale here.
Nothing at all.
Listen, you don't need a lot of
Nothing
money.
here.
No, you don't need a lot of money.
Plumbing.
You don't need to fix anything. You don't need to, do anything magical. Seriously, just like listen to me when I talk. That's really all I want. That's it. I'm pretty easy.
What if you just think we're listening? Is that okay?
That's fine too.
I'm sorry, what?
If you don't want to reply back,
I was only barely paying attention. Sorry.
But that's why I think when you get to a certain age, you pretty much can figure out you can figure out what works for you. And once you hit like 50, you're not changing. You're not. That's you. Who you are at 50 is pretty much who you're going to be at 60. But who you are at 20 is not
Different.
going to be who
you
you're going to be.
don't even know who you are at 20 yet.
No, exactly.
Not at all.
Again, I'm
No.
going to speak only for myself, but from my 20s, 30s, and even into my 40s, my whole outlook, demeanor, or whatever you want to call it, was different than it is now. Okay, and it's not like I'm 72. I'm only 54. It's not like I'm like, yeah, in my 40s I was, it was 30 years ago. No, I'm still as sound as a dollar in my mind. Knock on wood. Excuse me, I need to get the door.
Is that necessary?
Yes, it was. I'm only 54. I'm different
Right.
now.
Well,
I'm different now that even like 47. I'm very much the same, but I am markedly different as well.
I'm different, but I'm pretty much I'm very mature. So that part of me.
say
I didn't
immature?
I didn't really mature. I didn't really mature. I have
Humble,
to
too.
say, I'm very immature. I'm a baby. I'm a big baby.
Ba, 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 baby.
You know what it was? Because I was forced to be an adult. Like I'm
Millie,
like
is that
Michael
you,
Jackson.
Millie?
I'm like Michael Jackson. I was forced to be an adult very young, and then I think I forgot what it was like to be a kid.
Listen, I get that. I totally understand.
I'm going
Yeah,
to change the
that's-
subject though completely
Oh,
180.
right.
Ooh.
I am going to change it. You know
I'm
what?
nervous now because the last time you changed the subject, we were on a
Yeah.
45-minute rant. But go ahead.
Oh, I always go to
Waves.
rant. But I just read this. I
No,
read
is that
this
right?
at work before I got here, and I meant to bring it up, and because we go on these tangents. But this is in Maryland. Tell me if you read this today. A hazing incident.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you see this?
No, I was working all day. I didn't get to read anything.
So
sorry.
it was a hazing incident was it a football team?
It was a junior varsity football
Junior
team.
varsity football team.
Yep.
What these kids did to haze these other kids trying to get on the team, they tied them up,
Lima, if you remember that story.
Yeah.
From about 2
Oh, yeah.
years
Yeah.
ago.
Uh-huh.
In
tied
New
them
York.
up, and raped them all with a broom.
Broomsticks.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
all going to be charged
Yeah.
as adults.
Yep.
And may face life in prison.
And there you have it.
Yeah.
Spade and neuter, people.
You freaked him
Spade
out.
and neuter.
Yeah.
Just
First
saying.
of all, let's figure this one out. What in your right mind? I mean, you all remember being young, right? You all remember
Oh, yeah.
16, 17.
I
18?
do.
You
Of course, it
remember
was like
those
last year.
I think about it all the time, trying to figure out how to get back there. I wouldn't have gave Lisa away at
Where
that
do those
point.
thoughts come from? Like, how do you, I can't even imagine. I mean, I had some pretty effed up thoughts in my mind, but never in my.
No.
I'm gonna
Never.
Take a broom and
Who
put it up
thinks
someone's
that's a good
ass.
idea?
I
That's
know
my
that.
question. The first thing I
Listen,
thought was, who
listen.
thought this was going to be a good idea?
Listen. When I was in high school, the thing was, let's give the freshmen a wedgie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're gonna give them a wedgie.
Lock
I
him
hope
in
I
the
don't get
locker.
in trouble.
Lock him in the locker.
Yeah.
Lock him in the
Right,
locker.
put them in a locker. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, or lock him out of the
Right.
locker room only wearing a jock.
Right.
You
Right. Or tape them to the
How about this?
goalpost.
How about just
You
punch him in
know.
the face?
Or that.
Right. Like.
I got thrown
I
in
mean,
a puddle. That was my
thrown in
hitting.
a
I got thrown
puddle?
in a puddle.
Right.
I was a
Yeah.
freshman on the football team, and I was just this geeky little mug who
Right.
really wasn't
Yeah,
very
threw you in a
good.
puddle.
And the seniors threw me in a puddle.
They didn't
I got
shove
a-
a broomstick.
I got a
up their
wedgie.
ass.
I got a wedgie and it ripped my underwear. It was so
Oh.
big, you know. But
What kind of thought
that was my
process?
hazing. All right.
Okay.
We wedgied the new kid.
And we're done.
We're
What,
good.
wow, how do you think
Who
about?
thinks
Like,
that's a good
I have
idea?
an idea.
That was my first. Again, my first
great.
question was, who thought that was?
And why
a
were they
good
all
idea?
on board?
Ugh.
Like, where was the guy that was like, "This is effed up. I ain't doing this." I mean, where's that guy? Where did
He
go?
wasn't there because he left.
He wasn't there because, I mean, think about that.
No way,
Not
man.
one of them was thinking like, I don't think
Maybe-
this is
maybe
good.
And
this
these
is
are
a-
15-year-old sophomores doing it to 14-year-old freshman guys.
Right.
You got to be kidding me.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and it's a shame.
Oh,
it's going
messed
to
up.
be ostensibly
There's
a
there's
waste
quite
of a
few
life
them,
or two
too.
or three
It's like
or
six
four.
or eight of them.
But you know what? Yeah, send him away. Don't do that because
does that?
this is like the kid. And there was a kid in my old neighborhood. Brad was his name. I'm not going to give him his last name. There was a kid in my old neighborhood who, and this just
We need snacks.
yes, absolutely sends me
just
through.
Should we
the
order
roof,
takeout?
Okay, he
Lisa's
did very
hungry.
bad things with pets. He would.
Oh no,
Okay.
no.
Don't. Let's
Listen.
change this
And-
subject.
Wait.
This is off-limit topic.
Hold on. Stop a
Off
second,
limit.
stop
It's
a
right
second,
here on
stop a
my
second,
paper.
Stop.
All right, talk,
stop.
say it,
stop.
say it. I just-
I'm not going to get into detail, but he just did very bad things with pets. And these are the kind of people who you find out who did these
They kill people like Jeffrey
awful
Dahmer.
things.
That's right.
As a 6th grade kid or an 8th grade kid, fast forward 10, 15, 20, 25 years. These are the guys you see being escorted into the local jail, handcuffed because he just offed 2 guys in the
Sure.
bar because they looked at him cross-eyed, or the one guy had glasses and squinted at him and he thought he was giving
Give him
him
the
business.
the look, right?
Yeah. So Brad goes over, has a knife in his thing, and just zoop. Okay, all 3 of them because he doesn't care.
And they
Okay.
have no-
Spay and
and neuter.
so to speak. I mean, there's just think of people.
are
People
crazy.
think about what you are doing. And again, who thought that was a good idea?
I don't know, but I
Like
I
even
don't know.
if let's say that went on like when I was in high school, there had to be 20, 30 kids, right?
Oh,
On a
sure.
team, right?
Of course.
How did not 5 or 6 at least say
Yo,
something's not right here?
Yeah,
Guys,
I
knock
don't
it
feel
off.
like doing this.
Like
I don't want to do it.
I guess I was raised in a different time. Like
Maybe that's what I don't know.
I don't
You
know,
know,
if
like-
it's time. I think it's
like
a different set of
these
values.
parents,
I don't mean to
that's what I
sound
mean.
like
Like,
that,
it was
but
a-
it is what it
yeah.
is.
it was a different thing. Like if listen, again, and I'm gonna go back to the parenting. If when I was a sophomore, I did that to a freshman, I wouldn't have been afraid to go to jail for life. I would have been afraid to go home.
Oh, right.
That's the problem.
Oh yeah, you love saying that. Oh,
It is.
Frank's gonna go on his parents.
It is. Are you kidding?
Here we go.
I
Say
would
that.
die. I'd be like, no, I need to get to the police before my parents get to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because and then they're gonna save my life. You know, like they don't. We don't have that
I was always
now.
afraid of my mother, and my mother never hit. Well, she hit me once.
She didn't have to hit you
My mother
because
never
you
hit me.
knew what was gonna
My
happen.
mother just scared the life out of me. I was always like, I can't do that. My mom would just kill
Right,
me. Like, we just think that
exactly.
way. Like those days are gone. Now they're like, "Pfft, my mother's not gonna do shite. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah,
You know?
but there's a point at some point. Like now, I don't think kids have that feeling.
They
Like
don't.
if I do something
A lot
wrong,
of them
I'm
really,
in trouble,
really don't.
right? Right.
my father or mother is gonna come at me with whatever, you know, and just straighten me right out. And I don't need that kind of tune-up right now.
I remember my friend, she was having a lot of trouble with her son, and her son at the time was, I think, 10 or 11. But he was just being defiant. He was not doing his homework or whatever he was doing. But I remember she said, you better do this. And she started fighting with them, and he told her to F you. She said, I'm going to beat you. She goes, I'm going to beat you. He goes, go again. He goes, I'm going to call 911.
Right.
And the cops are going to come, and they're going to arrest you. So go ahead. So the true story, she spanked him.
Yeah.
He got a cell phone because he had a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Called 911, and the police came.
Now, here's the difference.
Oh.
Here's the difference.
Yep.
If that would have happened when I was a kid,
Yep.
that cop would have showed up at my house. My mother would have told him what happened,
Yep.
and the cop would have said, "Well, then I guess you got what you deserve, son," and drove away.
And
Right.
left.
And
Right.
drove away.
Right. Yeah.
That's the difference.
Now they do investigations.
Right.
They have to do an investigation.
Right.
Because are you abusing your child, or is
There's a big difference between keeping your child in line and abusing your child.
Oh, and
There
hell.
sure is.
Huge difference. And for
sure is.
every little thing that you do, if you go to jail, then this is what we get. Broomsticks in the ass.
Horrible.
Oh,
That's what it is.
how do we circle
Just-
back to that?
Boom.
Because that's what
started it all.
started this whole thing. But that's my point. Like we've gone way out of control with the things that are in the world today.
You want to know what a milk and cookies kind of a kid I was at, like, I'm going to say 12 or 13 years old. Same general area as your friend's kid, okay?
Right.
My one good friend who lived down the street of several houses, he and I would always get together, and he had in his basement they had a piano, they had a jukebox, pinball machine, and he had it to where we could ride skateboards down on the concrete floor. So we'd go over and just goof. We're 12, okay? This was amazing fun in 1977 when we were 12, okay? Friday night, and Dad, Mom, it's okay, I'm just going to go over to Mike's. All right, are his parents home? Yeah. I didn't know.
They didn't know, but you said
didn't
it.
know.
Eh, we all did.
You know, but the one contingent, of course, was always, well, as long as Mike's parents are home. Are they home?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I get there, and of course, they're not home. Okay?
And now the whole time you're there, you're
That's
fearful.
on my mind.
Exactly right. You're thinking, man, I hope they don't find out that their parents aren't home.
Well, this just in, they found out. So we're goofing around, and you had the cable and all this with the box, with the thing, with the slides and everything.
Yep.
Remember those?
Uh-huh.
Okay, we were
Three
down-
switches up and down. Yeah.
Right. We're watching cable and we're watching this and we're skateboarding downstairs. We're playing the jukebox, playing pinball. And he lives right by literally right by Route 18. And we heard something like a crash. We go out the one back door, okay, and again we're in stocking feet. It's like December or January. We go out the back door, and all of a sudden, door closes.
Oh no! Locked out.
Out. Okay. Now, around the other side of the house, he had a power garage door, and some way he knew how to finagle it and open it. And there was a steps that went down into the basement. Okay, and we could get into the basement. But we thought he could, but we couldn't get into the house because the basement door was locked from the other side for some reason. That was like an automatic. Okay,
Right.
because it was always open when we were down there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we jerked around, and finally it's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, dude, I got to go. So he says, here, wear my coat. He had a coat down there, and wear my sneakers, and I'll come get them tomorrow or Sunday. All right. And I'm walking up the street. It might be a quarter mile. And I'm like, the guilt is just dripping off of me. And Dad opens the door. I get to the door. It's not unhinged, latched. And I, hit the bell, and, oh, you're home. I'm like, hi, Dad. Oh, you okay? No, I'm really sorry. And I just
Yeah.
out it came.
Yeah.
I mean, that was about the extent.
It's all gone.
Because I knew I was in my mind I was fried like bacon the minute I walked in with and later on, weeks later, he said, "You want to know something? Had you not said anything, I didn't realize that wasn't your coat and was not your sneakers."
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it. Okay, but
guilt, you had
but the
guilt.
thing of it is, there's the guilt, there's the respect laced with whatever modicum of fear, okay, and I don't mean like horror or terror, just
I don't want to get in trouble.
I can
Right.
tell you when
that doesn't exist like it did.
I've done things when I was a kid that I probably would have gotten in trouble for if I got caught.
Of course.
Right?
Well, I've done that too.
And nothing bad, nothing like murdered somebody or
didn't murder
put
anybody.
broomstick in their ass
Murdered
or
that
anything
too.
like that.
Good day,
Just
John Spartan.
doing something that I probably
Sure.
that I knew I wasn't supposed to.
I stole a car
and
once.
I didn't steal a car,
I
but
did.
That's
but
a
my
felony,
point is
by
this.
the way.
Well,
My point is this.
it was my mom's boyfriend's car, so it doesn't really matter.
When you're with a group of friends, there was 4 or 5 of my friends hanging out, and we did something bad. Ooh,
yeah.
the whole time you're doing that bad thing, you're thinking, "Oh my God, if we get caught,"
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
So when the moment comes that you're gonna get caught, everybody disperses. Run!
Oh yeah.
And I run faster than I've ever run before because I wasn't afraid of getting caught by the cop. I was afraid of the cop bringing me to my parents.
Right.
Right? So I'm running. Got away with it. Didn't get caught. But the guilt that you live with of, and I guess the other side of that is, you knew what was bad and what was, whoa, we need to back off here. That's too far. We knew that as kids,
Of course.
right?
That's
I
not
don't
nice.
think
Don't
kids
do that.
I don't think kids know that line.
I don't think they have guilt.
There's a line.
I don't think there's guilt anymore.
No,
I don't think. I think
because they're not taught guilt. What do they have to be guilty about?
They're like,
They get everything they want.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything. There's no guilt for anything.
a heck of
What
a
would they have guilt for? From what? Where would it generate?
I don't know. Well, the internet ruined all their lives anyway, so let's be honest. Social media killed children.
And the video games.
Terrible.
Listen,
Terrible.
we had video games when I was a kid,
But
but we were outside doing other
And
things.
there you
Right,
have it.
right.
Get outside.
Video games were a
had
certain
Frogger.
amount. Oh, it's raining outside. Okay, you can play a video
Get some
game
video-
today.
Yeah, get the Coleco out. Okay.
That's right.
Coleco.
In television,
Right.
Oh, television.
Genesis,
Right.
all that
Oh, I had
stuff.
the little tennis.
Odyssey, remember
oh, I
the
had the
Odyssey?
tennis with the little bars.
Right.
I had that.
But
Pong.
the
I had
point
that.
is, you didn't go
Duck
from
hunt?
Friday after school till Sunday night playing video games in
And
your
locked yourself
room.
in a room, right.
And it wasn't in your room either.
No.
It was in
Bizarre.
a room where you could be kept
A
an
common
eye
room.
on.
It was in
Living room,
the,
right,
the
right,
den,
right.
the living room,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Right.
And then you also.
Okay, it's 8 o'clock. Time
By
to
the
do
you
something
were-
else.
By the time you were 15, you weren't also 285 pounds because you sat there like a slug eating. Cheesy poofs, whatever the hell is
Cheesy
going on.
poofs?
I want my cheesy poofs.
Like Cartman.
Cartman, that's
and all
right.
of a sudden you're 16 years old, you're 5'9", and you're 285 pounds. Whew. Wow.
You just
Yeah.
made me, so the cartoon, you made me think I forgot to mention the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants
Yes, he did.
died.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, I just thought I'd throw that in. All
Hey.
right, that's it. That's all I got.
How about bucket lists? Let's talk about bucket lists.
Oh, I love bucket lists.
Yeah?
I have bucket lists.
Baba Bucket.
What
How many?
So-
how many things? What's?
I
What's the
have
criteria?
I have a huge bucket
Oh,
list, right? I
geez.
mean, everybody has a huge bucket list. Some of them are things you'll never do.
Bailiff.
That you'll
ring
know
the
you'll never
lifeguard.
do, right?
Let's see.
But we
bucket
over
list.
Thanksgiving we had a bucket list conversation
Oh, fun!
with family members about
Oh, I love-
things, right, Lisa? And we were talking about things that are on each other's bucket lists and
Ooh.
things that we've checked off. And so I was curious, like, what's like some of the big things on everybody's bucket list?
Wow. I don't.
Wow, really?
Well,
Like,
I've done a lot. I've done a lot.
I've done a
in my
lot too,
life.
but
I mean,
like
I've really done a lot.
Fiji's on my bucket list. I want to go to Fiji or Tahiti. One of the two. Like, that's on my bucket list.
Like Howard Cunningham. I'm going to Tahiti.
See, my bucket list consists of
Marion?
my bucket list. I don't know if it's a bucket list. It's more so like goals. Like I have
Well,
things.
there's a difference between a goal
Right.
and a there's a slight difference, right? I mean,
there is.
a goal could be a bucket list. Because you might have to work at something to get to where your bucket list
that's
is.
what it is,
I get
yeah.
that. That's fine. But there's a bucket list of things I want to do before I die that I don't have to work for. Maybe, you know, like one of my bucket lists is to go to England and do the Beatles tour and go to their houses and see all the things that
Oh, that's
cuz
nice.
the right it's something that I can that's like acquirable. Right? That's something that I can do. That I don't that it's not far-fetched like, hey, bucket list is I want to go to Mars. Like
Yeah.
that's probably not going to
Yeah,
happen.
good luck with
right?
that. Could happen, but ooh,
Right?
wow.
You know what I mean? So, you know, everybody has these things. And then there's like stuff that's like little, tiny that you could probably do anytime you want. You know, like I want to buy a sports car. So this certain sports car is on my bucket list. I can get it, but it's not practical, so I don't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
There's
there's
a truck that's right in that same.
Right.
I go by it all the time in South River, and it's still for sale. I'm like, man, that would be the thing.
I don't
And
think
I'm
I
like,
have a bucket
no.
list.
Really? We need to work on that.
Yeah,
Well,
don't know
I mean,
that
because
I have a travel list.
Here,
I mean,
here. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example.
yeah.
Bucket list or something that I always wanted. I guess a dream was being a lead singer in a band.
But that's not a bucket list.
But it is a bucket list because I know
well,
I'm
then
not.
if you're talking about that kind of stuff,
Like-
I'm thinking about like things like you said you want to do before you die. You're not going to be
Yeah.
lead singer of a band before you die. Let's be honest.
Wrong.
incorrect. Circle.
Incorrect.
Look at Lisa.
Oh, God.
So here, one of my bucket list check marks. I became the lead singer of a band. Now we
Wait, you
play.
already did it?
Yeah. It's not a real band,
But
but I
you
got to
already
do
did
it.
it.
I did it one time. That's it. I'm good. I
then-
suck. I'm horrible.
Yeah, but-
I am the worst, but I don't care. I
Okay,
can
you
say I
haven't-
did
okay,
it.
I don't know. Wait a second. You didn't define it properly. I mean, like if you want to talk about, I mean,
Go ahead.
Give me some details.
Like I'm not playing to an 80,000 seat
yeah,
stadium.
that's what
no,
I
no,
thought
no.
you were kind of
I
saying.
don't even
You
care
wanted to
about
be
that.
like Mick Jagger
Just
one
being
day.
in front of 4 guys playing music and I'm singing?
We can do that karaoke anytime you
No,
want.
that's karaoke.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm talking no
what do you do?
words. No.
Well, we did live band.
Live
karaoke.
band.
We did
No,
live
I get
band
live. Oh no, I've done live band karaoke. I
Oh.
get that. But you're doing karaoke.
Yeah.
I'm
You're up
talking
there
4
without the
guys that just
prompter.
got together and said, "Hey, let's do a
How
song."
long were you in your band?
Well, I'm still in it. It's called barf. Because if you don't barf when we're done, we didn't do our
We got a
job.
problem. We got a problem.
We play once a week.
Wait, and you sing?
Yeah.
You said you
Lisa
suck
was
at
there.
it.
I do. Do I not suck?
No, you're good.
Well,
Horrible.
I think I suck. I think out of the people in the band,
that
I'm
was-
the worst of the 4.
So that was your bucket list, and
It came true. That's it. That's one of the things I can check
So
off my
check it off.
bucket list.
I don't know if that's more like a goal, isn't it?
It's not a goal. I'm not gonna. I don't. It's not. Here's the
Something you
thing.
wanna
The,
do.
the
Bucket
goal.
list is like
The goal
jump out,
would be.
bucket list is like jump out of a plane. That's
Yeah,
a
but
bucket
see,
list.
here's the
want it to
goal.
be.
Here's the thing. The difference between the bucket list and the goal is I want to be a lead singer in a band and keep doing it.
Oh.
Being the lead singer in a band one time is the bucket list,
And
Oh.
gone.
right? See the difference?
Yeah, I guess.
If my goal was I'm gonna be Freddie Mercury and be the singer of Queen, then that's a goal. If I just want to sing
That's
one
just a
time and
pipe
say
dream. Is that
I was
what-
in front of a band, that's a bucket list,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I get it. I get
So what's your bucket list, John?
I don't know if I have a big one. I have to think about it. I mean, there's a bunch of you mentioned travel. There's a bunch of travel places. Matter of fact, interesting to note that Jamie and I talked about not too long ago. And I even said, you know what? Let me get a piece of paper and pen. I'm going to write this down. I'm going to literally make a list. And
I
there's
had one at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's at
and
now.
there's
but-
I know
Lisa
right
threw it
where
out.
it is. I know right where this one is. It's out in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, and there are arguably about 15 to 20 places and or things that we talked about that we want to do. Now, one of them that's not on that list, but it's on my list, and I had to put it off a little bit because of just life. Okay, with my son. Jack, since he was a little boy, always wanted to go to Vegas. Remember that show on NBC with Sonny from The Godfather, James Caan?
Oh, that was Vegas.
Oh, Vegas, right? The show. Uh-huh.
I would watch
Good show.
that
I love
when
that show.
when he was like 8. And the lights and the stuff and the thing. And he's like, Dad, when can we go? I said, son, you got to be at least 21. Oh, that takes long. Guess what? He's 21. Okay?
You gonna take him to Vegas?
And we're going to Vegas.
Are you gonna get him a hooker?
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Listen, if you're in Vegas and you're drinking, you probably
Yeah,
don't need to
like-
find a hooker. I mean, it'll just come to you. Just hang out a little bit.
I've never
it's
been
the-
there. I've never
it's
been
the
there.
rhythm.
Clearly, he's never been there. So we're going to go. On my list of things I want to do with my son is
to
when
Vegas.
he's
Sin
done
City,
school
baby.
is go to Vegas and do the thing, whatever the thing.
That's
And
a good
part,
bucket list.
Part of
Yeah.
the thing, like on a sub bucket list, we're gonna drive, I don't know, sports cars, exotic cars, race cars out there because
Sure.
you can do that at the Las Vegas International
That's right.
Raceway.
That's right.
So that's another thing that he and I have discussed, and I even mentioned it to him the other day. I'm like, dude,
I got one for you.
would you be into like driving a Lamborghini and a Ferrari? And he's very low key. He's like, yeah.
I know one that
Right.
You're
Oh, yeah.
trained.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
you're wanting to start your training, but that's a bucket list.
Right.
That's a
For
bucket
sure.
list. Now the other, here's
But
one-
that's
here's
not
what-
just a bucket list, but that's a goal because he wants to keep doing
That's
it.
a little bit of both. Okay.
Yeah, it's
A little bit of both.
yeah.
Now, the thing where that's concerned, that would be a bucket list thing for me. I've got two of them that are related. One is a little bit more involved, and one is not as involved because I've seen them both done. Never done it though. Okay, it's to operate, number one, a diesel locomotive. Okay, it's not as involved as operating a steam locomotive. That's what I really would
Steam
like to
locomotive,
do.
right,
The
right.
Northern Nevada Railway has a program to where you can go out there for about a week or so and
Ooh.
learn how to do
You
this.
could do that while you're in Vegas with Jack, and then you can make it like a 2-week.
But that's not his
Almost like a dude
No,
ranch
you
kind of
go,
thing.
he'll go do his thing, and you go do your thing.
Well, perhaps.
Do stuff together.
Right.
Then you go. He's a grown ass man. I mean, he's gonna be up your ass for like the whole time.
So that's like the city slickers version of trains.
yeah.
so to speak.
Right,
You
you're
know
like
what
a
I mean?
dude ranch where you spend a
There used
week
to be
doing
one
cattle
out,
ranching. You're
out
gonna do the
beyond-
train.
There used to be
Train
one out beyond State College, Pennsylvania, that no longer they're having issues and it doesn't run right now. And about 7 or 8 years ago, I had it all mapped out, and well, they're not doing it again. So, but this business out in northern Nevada, they had so that's a bucket list.
Sure.
And I'll go back to what you mentioned, the smaller rideable, 7-inch, 7.5-inch width
For kids.
gauge for kids and or whomever. I mean,
Right.
you can be an adult and ride it, but yes, it's very much a kid thing. Whether or not I use it to help butter my bread exclusively, or just have because I like it, if it goes that way, then guess what? It's a bucket list. If it goes the other way, it's a little bit of a goal and a bucket list because I'm using it to supply me some income, perhaps. But yeah, you're right, and things like that, and all these places that Jamie and I would like to go. I don't have a passport, and I always am breaking her onions about. I'm not getting a passport. I refuse. I never had to before. Why should I have to now? Well, okay, that's a bunch of. I'm just giving her the business. I have to get a passport, and then you know what? Whether it's things like in Canada, we've got friends of ours from Nova Scotia. We want to go see them. We want to go. I don't know. I'd like to. She went to London a year and a half ago. I didn't go because she went with some friends. Okay, with friends of ours, and it was set up before we got back together.
Right.
Okay, but she got to go to London, like you just said
Right.
about all that. Wow, could you imagine? You can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I lived in Europe for 4 years,
Oh.
and I went to see all these awesome things, and now I'm like, man, there's all these other things that I didn't do that I didn't realize
I know. I was in London.
I
There's
should have
some things
done
I wish I
them.
did
You
when I
know?
was there. Yeah, same thing.
You know what I
was like,
mean?
oh, why
Like-
didn't I see that?
So that's on that whole.
I've
big
seen the
giant list
Matterhorn.
I
Like,
mentioned
who gets to
before.
see the Matterhorn?
Oh, forget it.
You know, like, that was on my
Kid
list.
from Jersey, I get to see the Matterhorn.
Right,
God.
right.
I get it. And there's this whole list, like I told you, that I
Yeah.
have in a spiral, flip up notebook
Old school.
of the because of these things that we want to do and places that we'd like to go.
Right.
And quite possibly as my wife.
Whatever.
Is that breaking news?
No, it's it's out there is what it is, of course. You know. So,
Good
but
luck.
there's, and it'll be great. And we'll have all these things. You know, there's all these places that we want to do. I guess that's part of a decent bucket list for me. What about you?
She doesn't have a bucket list.
I have things that I want to do, but I'm like doing them, trying to get them achieved now. So, I mean, I wanted to do a documentary, and I started filming a documentary. I wanted to write a screenplay, and I started writing a screenplay.
Wow.
I started working on a book, but I kind of went towards the screenplay.
And that's fine. That's your bucket
I
list.
mean, I don't know if that's
I mean,
a bucket list. They're just goals.
but to
that I've
you-
had for
they're
a
North
while.
goals.
Carolina.
Yeah,
Or is
but
that more
that's
of a
kind
goal?
of. Yeah, I don't even think it's anything.
Yeah.
Off the list?
I don't think it was more like if I could live anywhere, where would it be? And I was like, I wouldn't mind living in North Carolina. Now I don't care.
Okay.
That
Okay.
changed. I think of the floods.
hmm
I don't know. I don't.
Everywhere has its issues, right? You just
Yeah,
gotta.
anywhere you go.
Absolutely.
Listen, the thing about it is,
Nowhere's
you see, like
perfect.
my friends moving to California, and now the forest fires happen,
Ooh.
and I went,
Right.
I ain't going to damn California.
Hey,
Oh,
doesn't matter
hey,
what
listen.
the home is.
What do we got in New Jersey? We got lots of snow. That's pretty much it. And cold. We don't really get earthquakes or forest fires.
I'd
or-
rather have an
we don't get any
earthquake
of that
than
stuff.
snow.
Tornadoes. Well, we did
I'm
have
just saying.
Sandy, but that was an anomaly.
Give
We
me.
had Sandy. I mean, that does not.
I'll
doesn't
take a
count.
hurricane, an earthquake, and a tornado over snow any day. I
Really? You're a
can.
freak.
I love. listen. Just so we're clear, I don't mind going up to the mountains for a weekend, playing in the snow, skiing, snowboarding,
So
snowmobiling,
you'd rather live somewhere
whatever.
where there's an earthquake and landslides and tornadoes and forest fires.
It's not
and
cold.
Instead
It's not
of like a
bingo,
little bit
and there
of
it
snow.
is.
It's not
When you need
cold.
to retire and go to Florida and be one of those snowbirds.
I don't want to go to Florida. I don't
Where
want
do
to.
you
I
wanna
don't. Well, listen. Again, my bucket list. I want to have a house in Lake Tahoe. That's on my
It's not
bucket
hot
list.
in Lake Tahoe.
I didn't say it had to be hot, but
not
that
cold.
Lake Tahoe would be my summer home, not Florida.
By the Ponderosa.
My
So
summer.
what do you think about that?
Don't get her started, please.
I'm like, who's out in Lake Tahoe? What are you going to do out there?
You would be.
Why Lake Tahoe?
It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. If you have not been there, add that to your bucket
I
list.
don't give a shit.
It's a.
Wow.
It's a place that is just amazing. It has everything.
There are on this planet.
I'm not saying
there
there's
are
not.
so many amazing places that you probably never even seen and never been to and
Agreed.
and ultimately you'd say, you know what, I wish I could go to every single place on the planet and see it and say I've been there, I saw it. You can go to the see Mount Rushmore and go, there it is. All right, I saw it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I know, right? All right.
But I do.
There it is. I saw it. I don't know. I feel like with traveling, and I've done quite a bit of traveling, but it's all just been there. Okay, I saw it. I don't know.
I'm the same way.
Epic happened. There's nothing epic.
I agree. There's not a lot of epic that happens when you do it, but it's the point that you did it.
Did it, yeah. And see, I haven't done a whole lot
You
of
know?
traveling.
Like-
Maybe I'm
I've,
just like,
I've traveled through.
Like
I've
here, for
traveled
instance,
to, but
I used to have a
really haven't
con-
made a point of seeing a lot of that kind of thing.
I had a condo in Hawaii when I lived in California. I've been to Hawaii probably 6 or 8 times.
Hawaii's beautiful, but there's lots of crime.
There is, but
And
again,
drugs.
when you're stuck on an
pregnant.
island and there's really not much for you to do unless
I knew
you're
a girl who was from
unless
Hawaii,
you're a
that's why I
tourist.
said that. I
But-
said to her, I'm so jealous you lived in Hawaii. She goes, Hawaii sucks, dude. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, oh, no, don't get me wrong.
It's just like any
I was
other
just born and raised
island.
there. She would live there her whole life, but then now she lives in Massachusetts. I don't know how that happened, but anyway.
Wow.
But she said to me, she said, well,
Yikes.
she says, beautiful, it's hot, it's scenic, it's gorgeous. She said, but there's, all we do is smoke weed and have sex with each other
Who's the
and do
victim?
cocaine and steal things and like she said there's nothing
And that's
to
not
do.
every state in the
We're
United
so
States?
bored.
Every poor community in the United
but
States has the
we're
same
talking about
situation.
Hawaii. We're not
Right.
talking about
But I'm
New
talking
Jersey.
about
But they're
Hawaii.
landlocked.
But what I'm saying is Hawaii has that.
That's the irony.
New Jersey has it. New York
I
has
know
it.
that.
Connecticut
The
has
irony-
it.
that's the
Boston has
irony.
it.
No kidding. The irony is Hawaii is seen as like this beautiful, scenic, gorgeous, gotta be there kind of place, and not knowing. A lot of people are ignorant to the fact there is an underbelly even to Hawaii where that does have things like New Jersey and New York and Massachusetts. That's
Right.
my point.
But when you go there, you'll see. speaking from experience, when you go to Hawaii and you see the poorer communities and those things, it's just like any other place. You see the rundown slums and those kinds of
Would
things.
you rather be in the
but you
slums
don't
of
go to
Hawaii
those
or
places. When
slums
you
of
go to
Jersey?
Hawaii, you go to this nice resort.
Would you like
go
to be
to
in
the nice
Camden,
beach.
or would you like to be in Hawaii slums?
If it's not snowing, it doesn't really matter.
It's all
If
about
Camden
snow.
didn't have snow, okay.
You need to move away from here. You can't be anywhere where there's snow. Because if you'll
Hawaiian.
take all that stuff over snow, you definitely are living in the wrong place. How'd you end up in Jersey?
I was born here. I lived here.
Well, you can leave.
I lived in California for 5 years.
Again.
The first earthquake I was ever in knocked me from a wall onto the floor.
But you'd love to go back there.
It was 30 seconds. It was over before you even knew. I didn't even know it was an earthquake.
All right.
I thought I tripped.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, "Did you feel
hope
the earthquake?" I'm like, "Oh, that's what that was."
I hope Lisa's on
It's
board.
not like what you see on the TV
Lisa,
where you're
you
like
like
this for
snow?
5 minutes.
Incense
You don't like
around.
it.
Right,
Lisa,
exactly.
do you want to move somewhere like
We should do a football team
warm,
out there.
hot?
People are bored.
Yeah,
We can unbore them.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Whatever. You guys got a discussion when you get home.
No, this is
all right.
this is an ongoing discussion. It's not something new.
Yeah,
I'm the
Frank's going by
cousin-
himself. Frank's going to be in Lake Tahoe while Lisa's like, whatever, I'm in Jersey.
No,
F it.
my Tahoe house is only for June through September.
That's all.
That's it.
That's enough.
3 months in Tahoe. I play a little golf. I hang out in the
What are you,
mountains.
Donald Trump? You're just going to go to Mar-a-Lago and play some golf?
Listen,
Beautiful.
You know, then...
I found a place for $100,000. I mean, you can't buy a house in Jersey for $100,000, can you? All right, then.
New Jersey's just...
All right. Well, can you buy a house for $100,000 in South Carolina?
You can buy you can buy a house for $100,000 in Idaho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got
Buy one in
snow.
Pennsylvania as well.
Yeah, you can go to let's see, Kentucky. Get a house in Kentucky,
Nashville
Nashville,
still have snow.
Georgia.
Georgia has no snow.
Has ice.
Well, occasionally.
Yeah, but that's like a-
But I'm okay with
that's a
that.
freak thing.
I'm okay with
I love Georgia,
a South
actually.
Carolina, Georgia, where you
Yeah.
get these
I love
freak
the
storms
Carolina
every now and then.
weather.
I could deal with
Yeah,
that.
Carolines are nice.
When
though.
it's November 1st through March 1st, I can't golf
Yeah,
because it's too cold.
Oh, Lord.
No,
problem. I
that's a problem.
I know our winters are.
When I got to go to
long.
football practice and put on sweats and warmers and this and that.
Not like puffy coats.
Yeah,
You
like
have to do
I
that.
want to go to football
Yeah.
practice and have at worst a pair of pants and a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Well, you two got to talk about where you're going to live together because.
So he made- somebody made the
This
remark
is an
about-
ongoing discussion. As soon as I can get enough money, she'll do it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I would visit it.
Listen.
She would visit. She's.
I've already started working the other side of this conversation.
Am I ruining it for you?
No.
Oh.
So the trick is she wants to be around family. So I'm going to go around from the other side and get the family in. And then Lisa has no choice, right?
Everybody
So
comes out.
I'm working on her dad to get her dad to retire.
Yeah, her dad. Oh,
Beautiful.
boy.
See how this works? You just got to
Beautiful.
come around from a different
That's
angle.
all. You
Good
can't
luck.
bull rush. Again, the
If
bull
you're out
rush
there-
doesn't always work.
Eileen, if you're out there, let Joe know it's time to retire.
Retire, Joe.
Retire, Joe.
Joe, stay right where you are.
Joe. No, that's a bad move.
Stay right where
Joe.
you are.
Joe.
You're okay.
Joe,
Learn that poem. Learn that poem.
retire, Joe. Think of all the things we could do together if we were retired.
What happened to Ed? What'd you say? Ed got in a car accident?
Is gonna be
Oh.
get one.
Traffic.
He said that Parkway is loaded with accidents, so he can't even get out of there. He's all the way.
I wonder why. I mean, what's happening on the Parkway? Is there
Reckless
something-
driving.
Like, as we're in here in this little bubble, are there things going on outside that we don't know about? Like,
Just
is there some
stupid.
major...
No, just stupid drivers.
You sure?
Have you been on a parkway
All right.
lately?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I know. The Parkway's always sucked, though.
Right.
I mean, it always does. But I'm wondering if there's something going on we don't know about it and we're not reporting it.
Parkway removed all they have is the regular cash. They don't have the cash lanes no more.
Oh, no.
When did that happen?
Come off.
When?
Oh, did they?
So you can't throw a quarter in there anymore?
Wait, when did that happen?
Oh!
Have the thing or you don't. Yeah.
Or you don't drive.
When did that happen?
No.
Just now?
Monday.
Monday?
Couple months ago they passed that law.
I remember the law being passed, but I didn't know it was actually
to
going to
Cape
happen.
May in September, and they were still doing it.
Yeah, the Parkway, the Turnpike, all
So you have to have the speed pass now, or that's it?
Turnpike still has the guy, though.
That's
You got the
phony
ticket.
baloney.
But wait, what does that have to do with accidents?
What? You push all the people one way. Before maybe they call that.
You can go, you can, like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about where it divides. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you're also pushing them on the regular roads where they weren't there. And now
Yeah. I get it. Yep.
more accidents.
That makes sense.
Yay.
Yeah.
Congestion.
I don't think Ed's coming.
No, he said he isn't.
He's not
Oh,
coming.
I thought you said he's gonna be late.
No, that's why we're going late.
That's why I said. I thought you said it was late.
We have
Oh.
just entered the Twilight Zone.
I'm getting tired, and I'm hungry.
Well, it is 7:50. Yeah, I am too.
I'm really hungry.
John, give out the number so someone can call. I mean, we haven't done that all night. I mean,
You know,
if you don't do it once, I'm going to be
I know.
upset.
609 807 29.
We should have like
I'm
chips
sorry,
and
2492.
Ooh.
609 807 2492. Chips.
dip. Or quesadillas.
Maybe we can get like delivery during a show and then have the guy deliver it, right?
You know what? Next
And plug
time
'em on
Ed
the
doesn't
air.
show up,
Yeah.
we're gonna order food.
The new place, we're going to get vending machines.
Oh shit.
So there's going to be chips.
That's dangerous.
That's dangerous,
Oh
yeah.
boy, that's great. I can't wait.
Somebody mentioned about friends and family. Yeah, I'm the cousin who doesn't show up to the shit anymore. I'm done. That's enough.
Real nice, John.
I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Real nice.
That's
Wow,
my
I
point.
thought that was mine.
See, and now I'm the complete opposite.
No, good for
I want to
you.
go to every event
No,
possible.
no.
Because I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to do these things.
Man,
right?
I don't care. I would love to say I did, but this just in, I could not give less of a rat's ass about any of it.
Wow.
Hey, I'm going to the
Okay.
Walker Stalker
All my,
convention too.
all my
got
cousins,
my
all my
dad.
cousins out there, I love you, and I will be at every event possible.
I didn't say I didn't love them. I just don't need to freaking be around them. Nerds. Bye. It's been great.
I heard the Walker Stalker.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm going 2 weeks. Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited. I love that's.
How you liking the way? How you liking the way the show's playing out?
I
By the
don't
way,
mind it. Everyone's freaking out. I'm like, whatever.
I don't get
Go
it.
ahead,
Like,
John.
I think it's fine.
Whatever.
Like the whole Rick thing, and
Yeah,
now
it
now the
happens.
Walkers are whisperers.
I love
and-
that.
I love it.
I love
I
the-
think it's
I love
awesome.
it. I
Did you
can't
see
wait till they
Sunday
start
night's
telling people.
episode?
Yeah, I did.
That was awesome.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I don't know
Yeah.
why. I love it.
I'm gonna go meet Jesus. Not
He's-
real. Not Jesus
Jesus?
Christ.
Jesus is dead.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go meet him now.
Well,
the
we don't
actor.
know. We don't know if he's dead.
He's
Said
dead.
he said he
No,
doesn't.
he's dead. Well, no. If you watch The Talking Dead, he's.
Yeah.
He actually didn't.
I watched The Talking Dead.
Yeah,
he
so
said
he actually.
he kind of was like, well, you didn't see me turn to a walker
said that.
yet.
This
But-
to me is like speaking French. I don't watch it.
But
Sorry.
after online, I saw that he said he didn't like where his character's story was going, anyways, and he actually asked. He said, he
I
didn't
get
wanna be in
that.
it, so
Yeah.
which makes sense. But the actor will be at walking, so I'm gonna go. Meet
He's gonna
him.
be there?
So I'm gonna bring my pictures. In.
Who else is gonna be there? What other actor?
Carl.
Carl's gonna be there
Yeah.
with one eye.
Yeah, 2 eyes. Let me see. Rosita's gonna be
Nice.
there. Tara's gonna be there. Oh well, I already met these guys, but Daryl's gonna be there. Negan's gonna be there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I already
Yeah.
met them though at the last one, so that's good. Yeah, they're all gonna be there. It's awesome. Abraham,
What do you think about Negan
Martin
walking
and
out of the
John.
cage, out of the jail?
I love it.
When
Get going, baby.
He just walked out
Love
because
it.
they left the door open.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
I
it,
liked
so.
it too. I'm like, oh,
I'll give you guys
here
an
we
update
go.
when I get here. You know, I know you don't watch the show, but
all right.
it'll be great. I'm so excited about
Okay,
Rob
John, back to the
Winter,
conversation.
I'm sure will be envious.
it. Yes, yes, he will be envious. It's gonna be.
Oh, did you see he got hit by a deer?
I
Who?
saw that. I saw that.
Guy we work with, or I still work with. You know, that Rob Winter.
I was
who
so worried about the
impersonate
deer.
From time to time. No, he's.
Oh,
He's fine.
Rob,
The
Rob
deer's
Winter. So I'm going to do a couple of shout outs, first of all.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people watching. So
right.
Good.
I'm going to say the shout outs Ed Baskerville, Gene,
Ed.
Karen Cicino, Chris Long, Steve Navarro, James Simerson, Dan Jacobson, Melissa Beth, Will Smith, Rich Roselle. Yes.
Oh my God!
Not that Will
Not
Smith.
that
Oh.
Will Smith. This guy's about 6 foot tall, about 250.
Whatever.
It's more like 350
let
now.
me live my dream. Let me just
He
dream.
plays O-line.
It's all right.
Boy,
It's
good
all right.
for you.
Rich
just
Rich
a-
Roselle,
Hey, Rich, what's up?
Nick Capola, Rob Winter,
Rob Winter!
Anne Marie Pacerno. Yeah. Okay.
It's
And
Romeo.
Michael DiMatteo.
Mike DiMatteo.
Mike Tamayo?
DiMatteo.
Mike Tamayo?
Yeah.
Oh.
I would
Okay.
like to watch the show.
So those are the
What-
shout outs. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike.
Thank you. Would you like to watch the show?
Oh, and
Of
now
course you would.
we got a new one.
Hi, Rob Winter. Miss you guys.
Wendy Blau is now watching.
Oh.
That's Lisa's coworker.
Oh,
Nice.
Hi, Wendy.
Man, we're moving up in the world now.
Well, we're moving on up.
Hold it 2 hours.
See how nice?
Yeah.
Okay, loud.
I know. I want to be loud. I got to keep myself awake. I'm tired.
Wow.
I'm dozing off. Let me
I'm
yell.
That
dozing
kind
off.
of hurts a little bit.
No, you know what?
No, that's fine.
What time do you wake up every morning?
6:15.
What time do you wake up?
6.
I wake up at 6 too. All right. What time do you go to sleep?
Between 11ish.
What time do you go to sleep?
11:30.
You're full of crap.
No, I'm not.
You, I believe.
I-
You always go. You fall asleep on the couch. You fell asleep on my couch.
Listen,
Yeah.
let's talk about
when
falling
you were-
asleep
when
on the
you grew up
couch.
Walking Sadie, I watch my programs till 11 o'clock, and then whatever else.
You- wait, whoa.
He goes off on the couch.
No, I don't.
I'm going to stop you right there
I don't
because you
sit in the
just
couch.
showed your age.
What?
My grandmother said,
Oh,
I got to watch my programs.
My shows.
No, my programs.
You said my
My
programs?
grandmother always
No,
said
she watched
she had a
her stories.
TV guide.
She
no,
watched her stories.
No, at night.
Damn it.
At night, she would say, I have to watch my programs, and she would get out the TV guide
What's with
to
the
see
name?
what channel and what time. Because she couldn't figure out which was what.
Curmudgeon. Get off my lawn.
And now
Then again, I love
you've reached
doing
it, John. You've reached it. You just said you got to watch your programs.
I do.
Doze
I
off.
do. And then I see the news a little while, check out the weather, of course.
What's going on in
and
the
then
world?
Till I get wound down, it's 11:30 at night. The other day, I couldn't get to sleep. I laid there Monday night till 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, 1:30
Monday night till-
1:30 Tuesday morning. I'm just like, I couldn't get to sleep.
I have
Yeah,
that problem a lot.
insomnia.
I have that at least 4
That
nights a week.
stinks on ice, man. And
Yeah, I
got
go to
up-
bed. Like
Welcome to
midnight
my
every night.
world.
I get
Ooh, sorry.
probably at the most, if I can get 6 hours, that's a long time for me. Usually I get about 5 hours sleep. And so usually by this time, I'm usually I walk my dog and then I put my sweats on and then I watch Ray Donovan and I'm happy.
Well, let's get you home, Mother.
I have the issue where it doesn't take me too long to fall asleep, but within the hour I wake up, and then I can't go back to sleep.
Yeah, that's
I'm
okay.
actually doing a sleep test next week.
You know what you need on you? You need weight.
Wait,
Weight.
I'm trying to lose weight.
No. So Target has these weighted blankets. Have you seen?
Oh, no,
Hey, my jaw doesn't work.
Hey,
So
I'll just go.
how you doing?
it's like
Yo, hey, how you doing?
so they have these weighted blankets, and when you have
Oh, yeah,
weight
yeah,
on
yeah,
you,
yeah,
it actually you
I'm-
can fall asleep.
It doesn't work for me. I've tried that. Yeah,
All right, forget it.
yeah.
I was gonna get you a
It's a
weighted
mess.
blanket.
It's a mess. I mean,
Get a weight.
Lisa can tell you. She'll wake up in the morning. She goes like,
I'm awake easily.
"You were all over the place last night."
So it's like having a little baby.
Oh really?
Sleep.
I'm up 2, 3, 4 times a night.
I sleep like a
I
baby.
hate that.
I don't know. I'm out,
Then I get-
it's
I
a
lay down,
short
I'm out.
period of time though. If
I
I go
wake
out,
up
I'm out, but it's like it's like a good 5-hour deep sleep. and that's
I'll
it.
sleep
Oh,
1 hour and wake up like I just slept 8.
Oh.
Oh no.
And I'm like, "Woo, time to go to work." And I look at the clock. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? It's 12:30."
Yeah.
Oh, well, now what am I gonna do?
Well, I guess I'll go up the bathroom.
There was
and
a
come back
time,
down.
and I don't do it anymore, but there was a time in my life when I woke up at that moment and be like, okay, well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I do all this stuff for 3 hours and then I go back to
in the
bed.
middle of the night?
Yeah. And then I go back to bed at like 3 o'clock and I'd sleep till 6 and be like rested like I slept 8 hours.
Listen.
Wow.
I don't want to get out of bed. I will not. If I'm in bed, like to go to bed, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm staying in the bed. I'm not moving. No way. I will force myself to go back to sleep.
I gotta pay.
I'll just lay there.
I'll hold the pee. I'll give
Nope.
myself
No.
UTI so I
No.
don't have to get out of bed.
Okay.
I'll get a
nice.
catheter before I get out of this
Yeah, I'll
damn
get out of
bed.
bed.
And I'll run it all the way to the toilet down the hall.
Listen, let me tell
On
you
this
something.
bag business.
Yeah.
all
I'm
the
gonna
way
have
down.
a damn quarter-inch hose all the way to the toilet,
Sure.
85 feet away, because I ain't getting out of this damn bed.
I agree. Yeah, that's exactly it. I'll get out of that bed. Let me tell you something. If I didn't have a dog, I don't know if I'd get out of bed.
Wow.
We
You
gotta.
know why? Because I never, when I was young, I never slept. Never, never, never. I was an all-nighter. Like, I would go out clubbing till like 4 in the morning. I would like never sleep. All through school, I never slept. All my 30s, actually all my 30s, I stayed awake pretty much all the time. So I think I'm catching up. Because
Okay.
I love to sleep, man. Oh, I love me some sleep.
So yeah, when I used to go till 4 or 5 in the morning, I'd get up 8 o'clock.
I used to do that. Those days are over.
I still do it.
Oof.
I can't sleep during the day.
No.
Like it's just
Oh no, I can't
impossible.
sleep during the day. Let's get that straight.
No, I can't.
I cannot sleep during the day.
Right.
That I cannot.
So
do. I
at
don't
8
nap or
like if
no,
I go
no.
to sleep at
That's
4,
different.
by 8 I'm up no matter what.
My thing
No matter
is,
how tired or
at night,
drunk I was.
At 11:30, 11 midnight, whenever I go to bed at night, once I get into that place, that nook, in the bed, when you have that like spot, and you just like, and then you settle, and then you feel your body just kind of.
You just feel everything everything just goes limp.
And then
There
you're
it
like,
goes.
that's what I'm saying. From that moment on until I have to get up, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm okay with
I'm
that.
writing that. That's what I'm talking about.
Two more people just joined the show. Bill
Hi.
Dieter. Bill
Hey,
Dieter.
Bill.
Bernie
From the
Haney.
Thunder.
Yes, Bill Dieter from the Thunder. That's right.
Bill Hader
Like and
from
stuff.
Saturday Night Live.
Bill
No.
Hader. No.
And special
Will
musical
Smith,
guest,
Bill Hader.
Will Smith.
I'm so excited.
Well, kids, it's banging on 7:30. We did pert near 2
He
hours
said we
tonight.
had 5 minutes.
Whatever.
We can do it. I'm just
Yeah,
messing around.
just saying.
I'm just messing around. I'm just thinking about my sandwich.
What kind of sandwich?
I feel like Joey from Friends. Like I'd do anything for a sandwich. Right
Whoa.
I really
Lisa's
would.
probably kind of hungry right now
Yeah.
too.
You know?
How's your mouth? Is it thawed out yet?
Easy. Oh.
She's ready to eat. My sub, I gotta squish it together like that. But once I squish it like that, it's good to go.
Is that what the
She
kids are
takes
calling
all.
it these
She
days?
listen. She cuts the bread. She takes all the inner bread out and just the shell and puts
Yeah.
everything in, so it goes down a little,
Oh, yeah.
tighter.
There
Ooh,
we
I want a
go.
bagel. I'm craving an everything.
That's what.
bagel
That's what
right
broke
now.
Lisa's tooth this morning.
Oh.
So good. I want an everything bagel.
Well, that's what it was.
Damn, I want
nuts.
that right
Victim
now.
of the broken tooth from
What else do
the
I
from the
want?
all you can eat.
I have apple pie at my house and
Oh.
vanilla ice cream. I'm having that
In a
too.
world with apple pie and
starving.
ice cream for
I'm
supper.
starving. You know why? Because all I had for lunch was
Your two front teeth?
a
Oh,
yogurt.
I was thinking the same thing.
Not all I want for Christmas.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Lunch. Sorry.
We're in the spirit.
Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, it's almost Christmas. 4 Fridays left, kids. Till Christmas.
Right. 27 days.
I only had a yogurt to eat today and toast and coffee. So
I went to Red Robin because I had a kill.
Maybe that's why I'm feeling like a little like because I'm hungry.
Well, let's get something to eat, kids. You eat, too, if you haven't eaten already. This has been
Oh, that's my stomach.
A very special extended edition of Real Town. Not Blossom, but Real Town.
Oh, wait.
What?
Before we go,
one final thing.
What?
I got to make a special announcement. I haven't,
go.
I haven't told you guys yet.
Oh my God, I'm so excited!
Breaking news. Me and Gene talked about it earlier before you guys got here.
You're getting married. Oh, sorry.
No, see, Lisa shook her head no before I even said anything. I don't know if that's because of me or because of her. But either way.
Breaking news with Frank Cicino.
Okay, go. I'm ready.
Tonight's my last show
What?
until after the holidays.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, that's all. Nothing big. I'll
That's
be
it?
back.
You'll be back.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. I just want to let you guys know. I won't be
It's
back
the
till after the holiday. All my fans out there, I won't be back till after the holiday.
Bernie, what will you do? What will you do?
Bernie, you can text me. It's fine. Call me. Whatever.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it, man. We
I can
we love-
FaceTime you. Whatever.
love
We're gonna.
having
I
you.
think for the holidays we're gonna take like 2 weeks off anyway.
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's big doings amongst
Like
the
Christmas to
Hamilton
New Year's.
radio universe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I get like 2 weeks off of dance. I'm like, it's like that time when I'm just like, I need to recoup. I
Yeah.
need to regenerate.
Well, Amazon's just killing me. I gotta, I just
I
gotta.
get it. I get it. I can't even imagine working there now.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
No.
I told Lisa I'm gonna be ripped by the time the holiday season's over. I'm just.
Right. She's
Yeah.
all right.
I think I
You
put
don't
an
mind.
inch on my bicep already.
That a boy.
There you go, there you go.
Physical labor, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, that's so cool though. Wait, so I forgot you worked at Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only.
ordered
It's part time. I'm not even doing the stuff that I used to do. I'm just doing some part time physical labor
Yeah,
stuff.
but they need it for the holidays.
Right.
'cause they're like,
Right, but I'm
Which one
doing-
are you at? Which
So right here, right next to your John's building.
Oh,
the new one.
The new one.
Yeah.
There's two in that development. That's why I asked.
Yes,
There's
right.
one in the back, way in the back too.
Right.
That's the original.
Right.
Right.
There's
That's where I used to work at the big
Oh,
one.
the big one. Now you're in the new
Right.
one.
Then I
Not the
I
little
left
one.
Is it
there.
all food? That yours?
Oh,
is?
No. It was so
Everything?
they're a sort center, so they separate packages and send them to.
I wish they had like sales teams in there. They don't. All the sales stuff is in New York. Which
Yeah.
sucks. I wish they had
Well,
it in Jersey.
Yeah.
Because I would work for Amazon.
Yeah. It's a good place to work. I mean, You got to be a worker. You can't be lazy.
Well, yeah.
Then that's just in general. That's part of our problem
like
with
that
this
is.
world anyway. But
Did a whole
back
bunch
to
of people
that.
from Global
don't get me
come
started
over?
on that whole
Did
situation.
a whole bunch of people from
I don't even know anybody there. I don't choose to know anybody there. I go in, I do my job, I go home.
Because I think
And
a whole
there
bunch
you
of
have
warehouse people from his place
Probably.
went over there.
Yeah.
Because
You know.
there's only $15 an hour.
1540 1540 is their
5 year.
Yeah, and I think it's only
okay.
like 13.
1540 and the way it works is it's a part-time,
Yeah.
4 days a week, minimum 3 hours a day, up to 5. But you can do more than one shift a day. So you can do a 5-hour
choice.
shift,
Yeah.
and then if you want to do another 5-hour shift 2 hours later, you can sign up for it and do it.
Well, that's
But you
good.
got to show up. You can't not
Can't
show
not
up.
show
Once
up,
you say
right.
you're doing it, you're doing it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
No, well, you have a commitment. That's good.
Bernie
pretty
Bernie
cool.
said he's not going to miss me. So
Damn
Alright,
it.
well,
Bern,
listen,
come on,
Bernie.
man. What are you doing?
All right, I gotta go eat my sandwich. I
Yes.
gotta
Go
sit
eat.
down.
Let's go.
Everybody, enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the weekend. You're
Frank, we're gonna miss you. We'll
out
see you
getting
after
Christmas
Christmas.
trees, whatever you're doing. Frank, we'll see you in a few.
Yes.
I'll call you. Will you call in though?
I'll call in. It's
Okay.
just the way my schedule is. Like today, I didn't go home,
Yeah.
so I've
Yeah.
been sitting here for 4
Oh,
hours.
you're starving too.
Yeah. Well, I went to Red Robin and I ate.
Yo.
Oh, you ate. No.
You know, so it's
Brought
just
me a
it's just
sandwich.
Wednesdays are hard until after the holidays,
Got
and then
it.
I can
Yeah.
you know.
It's all right. Call
So.
in anyway.
All right, till
I'll call
next
in,
time.
for
Watch
sure.
for stuff on the Real Time with John and Tracy page, or on the John page, Tracy page, even the Frank page here and there. And until we do this again next week, 5:30-ish till about
Ish.
6:30-ish, provided that Ed can show up at 7-ish.
Thank you, Al Waller, for calling in.
Yes, Al, my man. We'll talk to
And
you
happy
tomorrow.
birthday to it was yesterday. My dog Sadie. She turned 8 yesterday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Sadie.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time in Real Town. Bye.
Bye.